Hello. Welcome
Hello.
to Rated M.
Welcome to the Rated M Show.
How are you guys? I really want to be excited for this topic, but I already know how this is going to go.
Oh, gosh.
I already know how you women get down.
So when you say things like you women,
Yes.
um, that doesn't help. It doesn't help the situation.
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
Nikki.
Nikki, the go. Oh yeah, this is gonna be real interesting. Hey, Nikki, are you available to be on here at some point? Because in my mind, you are my poster child
Oh gosh.
for this topic. So you
Poster
just
child's a lot of pressure.
yeah,
Right,
you
Nikki.
yes,
You
you
women.
women,
That's right.
you women, yes. So you already know how I'm coming today. You are oh great. I'm gonna send you an invite. Hold on.
So, I guess we can take like a couple minutes and let people come on in.
Okay.
Thank you, Nikki. She's talking about let's go. I got your back.
It's cool. I can be on here by myself.
No, we know. I don't know. I don't think that there's going to be
Let's
necessarily
go.
like a fight.
My, my
I
backup is
just
there.
I think it's a really interesting. Hey, Rick. I really think it's a really like interesting
Guys,
conversation
can
to
I say
have.
one thing?
Just
Nikki, I
things that
sent you I'm sorry, one thing. Nikki, I sent you your invite, but you can come on whenever you know,
whatever
feel
you want.
yeah, deemed necessary. All right, go ahead, babe.
I was just saying, like, I don't think it's not necessarily a fight, but I think it's a good and interesting conversation to have because so many things in the world are changing, especially when it comes to male female roles and how that affects marriage. So um, I just think it's a really good conversation to have. I'm interested in different opinions, and I'm interested maybe to see how different households line things up.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Shalon, why don't you? For those who are here for the first time, I'm Dre. This is my lovely wife, Shalon. Babe, will you please go ahead? All right, let's ask us questions. Okay, so the topic of today, I want to discuss.
Introduce us in, yeah.
Yes, let me introduce it. Gender roles and um, do they still exist with the new modern woman and modern men? And if they do, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And if those roles don't still exist, why or why not? So I'm very interested to see all the women come on here and hate on all the men, and all the men stay silent while they do it and leave me by myself. But don't worry,
I'm just saying,
I'm a
get your
defendant.
friends.
I'm a defendant.
You can't defend the whole race, but I'm saying get your friends so they won't be keyboard gangsters. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so like I guess maybe the whole premise is traditional roles in marriage versus a more equal and shared responsibility, and how does that get determined, and also like is that different in our community as Black people? Like do we see those things differently? Because the stats of our numbers in marriage are very different than the stats in the numbers of marriage between white people, um, the Latin community, etc. So I'm wondering, you know, how this kind of shakes out just in America or in the world, and then for us. So traditional roles versus, let's say, equal responsibility. I think we all know what we mean by traditional roles, but just to be clear, um, what are you shaking your head for?
I can feel the hate oozing out of Nikki's
I
screen.
think that's first. I think that's just you, sir. I don't.
No,
I don't.
no, 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 no.
Anyway, like traditional roles, obviously, let's say for the man, are to be the breadwinner. He wears the pants. He's the one who takes care of finances. Mows the lawn, fixes the car, XYZ. Um, I don't know if the traditional man has a lot to do with when it comes to like child rearing or household chores, things like that. The traditional woman is not necessarily the breadwinner, or not the breadwinner at all, actually. And she's more of a homemaker. So she takes care of the home, everything within it, and any and everything to do with the kids. That's her main responsibility. And that's how they, you know, I don't want to say fluctuate, but that's how they coexist. And then if you come to maybe now, you have equal and shared responsibility. And so like now there are more women that are working, right? So it's like, do you split things 50-50 when it's an equal shared or equal partnership? Do you know, is it like, does one person do the cleaning one week, one person do the cleaning the next week? Or do you kind of determine, well, I don't like to do dishes, so you do the dishes, or I like to do laundry, so I'll do the laundry. You know, like, are you kind of divvying up responsibilities? And then does that look different for our community? So, yeah.
All right, I'm glad you gave that. So I'm gonna give you the definition.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I'm only coming with facts today.
Okay. I appreciate receipts. Okay.
No opinions, facts. All right.
Okay.
This is from psychologytoday.com.
Okay.
Not a Christian site, not a man site. Traditionally, is what are traditional marriage roles? Is the topic. Traditionally, the wife works a part-time or full-time job until she has children. At that point, she leaves behind her job or career to stay at home and raise her kids. In most marriages, most household responsibilities fall on the wife's shoulders, including cooking and cleaning, while the man is responsible for disciplining the children and providing. Okay. Which is the way God made it and the way God intended. And all you modern women is out here messing it up. I said it. Ain't nobody else gonna say it. You modern women is the problem. Okay. And you modern men, soft. And I call you men with a small m, lowercase.
Wow. M. Okay. Let's dial back. It's only been 8 minutes. Let's dial back.
I'm all right.
A little bit.
The whole squad is in here. Let's go. The whole squad.
No. Let's be clear. Whole squad is in comments. Whole squad is not in here.
I didn't send the invite yet because I'm trying to let you talk a little bit before I get my guys on here to set y'all free.
So when you say that's the way that God intended it, how do we know that?
Oh, how do we know? I'm so glad that you asked. Let's bring out another fact.
Okay.
Let's look at what the Bible says.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just trying to see where you want to go with this. I got about 100,000 scriptures. Where do you want to go?
Well, you don't have 100,000 scriptures.
Well, hold on. You see this?
That's not 100,000.
Huh? It just keeps going. Okay. All right. So what?
When you the specific statement that I'm referring to is, you said that's the way that God intended it, that men go out and work and discipline the kids and women take care of the house, like leave their career to take care of the home. That was the specific thing I was talking about.
All right. You read your Bible, right?
Yes.
So woman was designed to be man's what?
Helpmate. Hey, Ashley.
Ashley, what's up?
Hey, Ashley.
Let me take a quick segue. Y'all need to go get these miracle oils from Ashley. Ashley, that sleep stuff, dab on the pillow, dab on the neck or whatever it was, I was out of there. Out. All right, back from my commercial break. Right. It's supposed to be man's helpmate.
Okay.
You can't help nobody if you're not home because you're working.
Okay.
All right. So we'll have another thing, but I'll wait to bring out those facts because I know that's gonna be a whole nother conversation. And so statistically, marriage was only at a 35% rate in the United States in like the 20s to 30s to 40s when traditional marriage was more popular and practiced more.
Okay.
We all know what the rate is now.
What is it across the board? What is it?
Oh, hold on. Look at it. Came on here looking mad. Look at her. Came on looking upset. That's right. That's right. Yeah, she does. She the modern.
You're such a troll.
Woman. She's the modern woman poster child. Hater. That's right. I knew you were gonna come to him, man.
Hater.
Talking about
yes.
Talking about conscious parenting. Ain't no conscious marriages going on up here. I'm telling you that.
Wait a minute. I feel attacked. I just got here.
Huh?
I just got here.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
First of all, we're only 11 minutes in. Please do not attack our first guest.
Okay. All right. She's not a guest. She is not a guest.
What is she?
She is family. She's not a guest.
So what's your question?
We've been having these conversations off camera before this started.
That's true. For years. What's your question?
Oh, I don't have no question. I just, since you're the modern woman representative, I do have a question. How do you feel about one, gender roles, which I think for this conversation, oh Lord, see, I told you, women. Now, when I said you women, everybody was hating, and look who hating in the comments. I'm gonna get my.
She literally said, "Be polite."
Why she didn't tell y'all to be polite?
Because you're
the one trolling.
Right.
I'm not trolling. I'm speaking the truth. But anyway, okay. You're right, Brittany. First of all, shout out to Brittany. How are you? All right, let me simmer down. So I forgot y'all like the modern man, soft niggas. Okay. So for the purposes of this dialogue, the question I am wondering, Mazza, is if you could define gender roles, and then when you do, if you support the traditional marriage or if you support the new wave, ma'am.
I don't think there's a new wave. I think it's what works in your family. I don't think that there are certain things that a man should do or shouldn't do. That's why the lights keep going down. I don't think that there's certain things that as a man you should and shouldn't do. And I don't think that there's a certain thing that as a woman you should and shouldn't do. If laundry needs to be done, do it. Or somebody gonna be naked, period. If the garbage needs to go out, take it out or the house is gonna stink. Now, in our house, there are certain things that we established early on that I just was not going to do. There's certain things I just don't do.
What's that?
Could you?
Would you mind sharing that with us?
Could you give us an example, please?
Oh my God! Could you stop?
Okay. I don't. I take out the garbage now when Andrell is out of town, but I don't take out the garbage traditionally. I don't. Those were things that were established early on. Like I don't take out the trash. I don't. I don't do car maintenance. I don't. I will drive a different car before I go do some car maintenance. I don't. I just don't. If my car is out of gas, I would prefer not to go get it. I'll drive his car if his car has gas, and I'll tell him, "Hey, the car needs gas." But those are decisions that we make. I cook. He knows how to cook, but I cook. It wasn't I'm gonna go, you gonna cook, and no, we ain't doing all that. If something's dirty, clean it.
Oh wait, excuse me, ma'am. Could I point out what I deduced to be a possible contradiction? Now, why is it fair for you to say what you, as they say in the urban settings, ain't gonna do, and then your husband, whoever he is, he shall remain nameless.
Whoever he is. We don't
cannot say what he, as I quote, ain't gonna do or is gonna do. I don't think that's fair.
I never said that he didn't. He could have. He could have. He could have said, "Okay, I'm not gonna cook." Okay, that might mean some nights you're hungry, but that's your choice. If you say you're not gonna cook, then okay, don't cook. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to cook.
Okay, so let's take the cooking example. and let me ask this. So you say you're going to cook. He says, I don't do that. It's like, all right, fine. So does that make it your responsibility to cook for him? Or are you, or on the nights that you feel like cooking, you cooking, and when you don't, you don't?
Right. So if it's a night that I feel like cooking, then I cook. If it's a night that I don't feel like cooking, then somebody pick up a phone and order something. It's just that simple. Or or go in the kitchen and cook. It'd be different if he didn't know how to cook. If he was like, yeah, you don't want to eat what I cook, then okay, I'm gonna cook. Or we're gonna have the financial means to eat out every night. Okay. But those are ground rules. Like Ashley said, those are the ground rules that we set up when we were dating. It was kind of like, I get my hair done every week. That's a non-negotiable. We're not talking about that.
Okay.
That's not a, well, maybe this week. No, man. These are the things that I was doing before we got married. So these are the things that we're going to continue doing after we got married. And those are things that he was like, hey, I have guys' nights. Okay, cool. Do that.
I mean, I guess it's fair. Not fair, but I guess if it's on both sides, I think it would be one way if you were like, oh, these are the things that I do. This is what I'm going to continue to do. And then for your husband, it would be, I don't know if that's something you want to continue.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a such thing. To me, I don't think there's a such thing as only guys do this and only women do that. I don't believe that.
Okay.
What's the face for, sir?
There's no face, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, I can't do that no more. Listen, let me ask a question. So is it fair for your husband those days when you don't want to do car maintenance to say, no, you can't use my car? Beat those feet or find you the nearest Uber driver to go wherever you want to go. Is that fair for him to do that?
No.
Be honest, tell the truth. Don't be on here saying yeah, just say it. Is that fair?
No, because it's not new.
So
what do you mean because it's not new? What do you mean?
Because he knew it going in. Like those were part of the rules. My dad took care of my car all the way up until I got married.
See, fellas, I hope you learned the lesson. Matter of fact, fellas, I don't even want y'all to comment. Don't come on here to the show. I just want y'all to sit back and listen to this.
Oh, God.
Do you hear what's going on right now?
Oh, God.
You hear this? This man can't even get a hot dog every night. He just gonna starve if he can't cook. But
Nikki, I will say, I feel like that's a little on the unfair side.
But she get to take his car wherever because she don't want to put no gas in.
I think that's a little on the unfair side. If
he can't cook, then we need to order food. I didn't say don't eat. I just said I wasn't cooking.
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
Because I know your husband. I'm not gonna say his name. Your husband is evolving into a modern man, which is your fault. I'm gonna pull him back. I'm gonna pull him back. Fellas, I hope you're seeing this.
I don't know what the problem is.
These new women think they can do whatever they want, and we just gotta take it.
You don't have to. Don't get married.
Gotta take it. Okay, don't get. All right. So let me ask you this: if everything is about what you want to do and what you don't want to do, there's no responsibility. What is the point of being married?
It's not about what I want to do and what I don't think there's no responsibility. But like when we had kids, it wasn't like, okay, you're going to take care of these kids and I'm going to go over here. When we had Malachi, it was like, okay, the nights that you don't work, you on duty. The nights that when I was home and he had to get up and go to work, I took care of him in the middle of the night. I wasn't tapping him like, hey, get up. But on the weekends, don't wake me up because you don't have nowhere to go. There you go. I just texted him and told him to get on here. Go ahead.
Bro, they don't hear they don't assault on your name, bro.
No, I'm not.
I'm over here trying to pull you
this
back.
Person.
Andrea, I want you listen. I want you to listen.
Hey, Andrea.
Invite him on here. Go ahead.
My boy. No, I don't want no men on here. I want them to watch and hear how y'all disrespecting our whole race of creatures.
How is that disrespectful?
Bro, Andrea, I want you to look at me. Don't become this modern man.
Okay, so even in the let's go back, not even the baby thing, because I understand the baby thing taking shifts.
Ashley, where's Hennessy at?
Totally get that. So like back to the example of the cooking versus the car maintenance.
Right.
That was something that was established. Like, I really don't take care of my own car. I'm gonna need you to handle that.
Right.
Okay, fine. How is it, or how does it work for you where if it's like, I don't feel like cooking, we really don't have the money to eat out, maybe my husband is tired or whatever, like you both tired, you know what I mean? Like nobody's just sitting around all day. Like
the woman need to
it's
get
just
up.
not like that. I'm saying like where is the bend, or where is the compromise where maybe he does the things that he doesn't want to do because you just don't do them, like getting the oil change, putting gas in, cleaning the car out, to where maybe you do things that you don't necessarily want to do.
So if it were an issue where there's been times when that's happened plenty of times. I'm at work all day. He's at work all day. I am the primary cook, but he'll go in there and be like, okay, well, this is what we did today. We made beans and rice. Have at it. Okay, cool.
All right, let me say this. Let me get this straight before people start in the definition. I don't think traditional role means whenever somebody's hungry, it's the woman's job to cook, or that every single time the trash needs to go out, that we will order out if I know she. We're dying, bro.
Right, Zenia.
Can you finish your thought?
That's what you figured out solo. Like, I mean,
you figure it out. So, but okay, let me go back. Hold on. Let me say.
Finish your thought.
All right.
Finish your thought.
I'm not saying that means men never do traditional women roles, and women. I'm not saying that like if the laundry's piled up and your arms are broken, and the man like, well, I'm just gonna wait till you recover, and then I don't think that's what that means.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
I think the primary role is understood. Like you were doing what you had to do before you got married. Right. But my thing is, okay, modern men, Gregory, what up? Okay, modern men, that's what I'm saying. If I'm doing what I'm doing before I met you and you're gonna make me do the same thing, I don't need you. Why are we married? We already established we're not having sex. So we already established that.
So marriage means maid? Like somebody to be your maid and your cook?
Thank you. Modern Woman 101. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, so all right. So
Ashley, where you at? Come on here.
Bring all the women.
She said,
Ashley,
yes, you do.
Ashley, if you
said, yes, you do.
Ashley, if you want to invite, you come on. I'm not bringing no men on here because I don't. First of all, I don't like those. No, these are modern men. I need an old school man. All right. Marriage is not about doing tasks. Yes, it is. Don't nobody drive better than my wife in the passenger seat. Facts. You do need a woman. No, I understand. I understand your need of the woman in your life is not to do your chore.
Thank you.
All right, let me switch it to another conversation.
I think you have to finish your thought. Did you finish what you were saying?
I didn't want to go here, but I feel like I'm gonna have to. I try not to bring this phrase up or this point up too much because of now what do the men bring to the table that the woman? We've already talked about this. Everything that a man needs from a woman, women give us before we get married.
Women give them before they get married.
Yes.
I can't.
It's facts. Okay. Oh, you know what? My bad. I said that I was going to talk about facts on the show. So let me do that. I'm going to make my statement because it needs to be said, especially in this group. Do you know who has the highest rate of divorce among anyone in America? I'll give you two guesses. Yes,
what group of people?
Hold on. Fellas, I want you to look at the comment that I have highlighted. This is a married woman. She don't even know what sex is.
Stop it. That's not what she's saying. That's not what she's saying.
Y'all see how Eliza doing? She said sex like it's a foreign word.
No, that's not. No, don't do that.
She speaks for all women, all wives.
No, she don't.
In the
Oh
chat.
my
Yes, she does.
God.
No, she
They don't
don't.
know what it
That's
is.
not what she said.
She's been married like a month.
Oh yeah, she newlywed, so she probably still. I'm not
Yes, she
gonna.
just told you to shut up.
Shut up.
I'm not gonna. All
Shut
right.
up.
So look, who is the highest rated divorced people in America as of 2020? You can
You
go
mean,
Google it right now.
So are we talking about like age groups, like generations,
No.
racially?
Racially,
Okay.
Black
I just wanted to be clear.
yes, black people is part of the answer. Now give me the correct answer, Shrine. Bring it on home. You know where I'm going. You know this stat. Bring it on home. I'll tell you, since y'all don't want to say it, black women. You know why? You know why?
We're the highest rates of divorce. Like, who are we divorcing?
black men.
Yes.
So that means both.
No.
Yeah, that would be black people.
No. The percentage is high. Okay.
Okay.
All right. In America, is 48%. Women are 46%. Men are 44%. I don't know how to differentiate that. I'm just reading. That's what the
Okay.
stats say.
Okay.
Wrong, Ashley. You can look it up. You can go to Google right now. The lowest is Asian and Hispanic women, and then white women is like 5% lower or something like that. Siobhan, this is a stat we've listened to for the last couple months.
Okay.
One out of how many black women are married?
4.
25%, right?
25%.
Is that the highest or the lowest?
What do you mean out of all racial groups?
Out of all racial women.
It's the lowest. We're the least married.
Them, that file or the man? I don't know who
80%.
filed.
Statistically, 80% is women.
So, factually speaking, it's not men. But I'll tell you what's happening. Men, I can't say that I want to say because I don't know who's watching this live. So let me. The modern man.
This modern man.
It is. I don't want to say NN like I want to say.
Okay, thank you.
Modern men have been trained to not question black women on anything that they do. Even on this show, women get on here and say, not recently, but the first few times we did this show, y'all was on here wilding, saying whatever y'all wanted to say about what y'all husband ain't gonna do, but what you can do. And no one but when we come on here, we gotta be like, I mean, I just want to say I love all my black women, but we always got to give a caveat. Women say whatever they want. I don't want no scrubs. A nigga can't get no love from me. Don't talk to me out your passenger's ride. Let a man say that. I don't want no hot dog water. Let a man come out with that song. I don't want no bonnet. Let a man come out with that song. That boy ain't getting no sales because we've been trained, and no disrespect to my dudes on here because everybody was raised different. But look at all these things. Man, you just want her to do your yes. That is part of the deal. That is how it goes. Just like your husband can't decide, I don't want to work no more. I want to be a house husband. I bet Rose won't come in then.
That's not true. It's a lot of guys that I know personally that are at home. They're stay-at-home dads.
Full time.
Yeah. Because that was decided in their house.
And they pee standing up.
Yes.
Okay. For a long period of time. Not somebody got sick. Not that somebody was dying.
This has always been their role. They were like, this is what I'm going to do.
Are they over 50?
No.
Modern nigga. So they
No, they're not. That was the decision that was made in their house.
All right, Dane, I'm not gonna let you get away with this because last time we had the conversation, you said that's how you started, and then you reformed yourself, brother.
Okay.
A lot of guys stay at home. A lot of guys that stay home or are not the breadwinners. All right. Let me go back to stats. I just want to know if you would agree with this or not. Okay. If 55% of marriages Sorry, I'm trying to say this and
Read. Go ahead. Just don't worry about the comments.
all
Not
right.
right now. Just finish your statement.
I just want to give everybody fair share on the joint. All right. So if it's a fact that marriages with gender roles are more successful, defined gender roles are more successful and are happier, does that matter? Or is it like the three people you know that like do the opposite and they happy? Because most people I know that have a modern man, their relationship is not great. Their marriage is not doing amazing.
Because they don't have gender roles?
Because their man is not a man. They're married to a woman with equipment.
Oh my God.
So let me ask you a question. Is money the single thing that makes a man? You know what I mean? So tell me what makes him a man.
It depends. I think that all depends on like your source and what are you smoking? What you mean? I don't want to go against my word and say I ain't gonna have nobody on here. Dana, if you want to come on here, I need one of y'all modern men to come on here and be our representative so we can talk. But I'm saying, women, it's not y'all fault. It's not. I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna tell y'all how this. Okay, I'm sorry. It depends on. I think it depends on your standard of marriage. So if the Bible is your standard, then no, it's not money. It's just that's how God established it.
Okay.
It depends. Whoever it is that
Dana said add him.
Dana.
Wait. First of all, let's finish your thought.
Okay. But then I mean that's really my answer. Like it just depends on who taught you about marriage, and to some people, where'd Nikki go? Oh, for some people, I was trying to get out of here. No, I'm just playing. But no, I think if it's the Bible, then that's how we set it up. Because from most of the research I've done, at least, that's where traditional marriage kind of came from. People's interpretation of what that means. And then that's not, I guess, it's whatever you base your marriage or life on, or whoever establishes that for you that tells you what it is. But I will say this, it ain't a bad place to start.
Okay.
But no, I think for me and my belief system, it's just the way God established it. It was very clear. And then a certain gender did not like that and started changing the rules and saying it shouldn't be like that. And these dumb dudes, because they so I'm gonna be respectful. No, I know. I'm gonna tell the truth. I love all my guys on here, but I'm gonna speak. I ain't talking about nobody here in particular because I don't know y'all whole life, but I'm just gonna speak facts.
Oh goodness.
Some of these dudes be so thirsty to get a girl that they decide to trade in their equipment for a JJ, and they happy playing that role. They don't want to argue with their woman no more. And then the woman, the whole feminist movement, you don't need no man. You can be your own boss. You can do what you want to do. You can, and be old and lonely.
Old and lonely. Not old and lonely.
Old and lonely.
Okay, so Nikki, if you have a response, I'd like to hear it. I think just before I have like a list of things here, so just before I kind of start going through that,
I guess I struggle with.
Why are they so thirsty for a woman?
Oh no! Wait, Nikki.
Is your wife sitting next to you as you do this?
Nikki, go ahead.
I think I struggle with you saying that just because people don't have what you consider a non-traditional household, that either sets them up for non-success, or you're saying that makes the man weak. I think that it takes a stronger man to admit that what he can't do and to say, babe, you got that, than to flail and fake what you say that you, just because for the sake of saving face. Like, this is my job. I'm supposed to handle the finances in the house. I'm supposed to bring in the money, but you're not good at it. And every week the lights are about to be turned off because you suck at doing bills. Then you just gonna keep doing that because that's a traditional man's role. Because why not just sit down and say, here's my strengths, here's your strengths, and we're gonna operate out of that. It takes a stronger person to me to admit, hey, I'm not good at this, so I'm gonna let you have that. You got that.
Right.
Okay.
So
am I allowed to respond?
Oh, go ahead.
But eat my donut.
Eat your donut.
So I would say the first half of what you said I can agree with. And I'm not saying I can't. I mean, I don't want to. If what I got across was that these men are weak, and I just want to apologize to nobody because that's what I meant. Them niggas is trash.
Okay.
Terrible,
Okay.
horrible. No, I'm gonna say it because y'all don't want to say it. Now all y'all do is agreeing with Nikki. Realize the slave master is saying, what's wrong with being a slave? What's wrong with picking? I think a real slave should pick cotton. And y'all dummies up there yubbing it up. You right. Yeah.
So
look, if you stand at home and you a man, if it's situational, I understand. I'm not judging nobody. I'm not on that. Because again, I love my guys. But what I'm saying is statistically, these are facts. These people, as hundreds of thousands of people, this new I'm not scared. Hold on. I'm scared to ask me. Hold on, bro. You finna get your invitation right now, brother. Hold on.
Okay. So let's not boil it down to a chores list, right? Because that's not so much what this is about.
I told you what was gonna happen.
What, that it's gonna come down to a chores list?
Yeah, I told you. Women don't like to hear this. Because they always think that when someone say gender roles, that it automatically, yes, let's go. That it automatically means
okay.
All right. Lower. I'm not saying.
So I think overall, the point to this conversation is that it's not necessarily about a chores list, and this is a woman's thing to do and a man's thing to do. Like, that's not all that it is. But I think overall, when it comes to how your household should operate, this is a woman's. Is that Dana?
Yep.
Hey, Dana. But when it comes to how your household should operate, like, I feel like there has to be, a meeting of, is this a 50-50? Is this a 51-49? Like almost like who gets kind of final say or head, like who kind of is able to pull that trump card, so to speak, maybe when it comes to certain things. Like, is that something that you establish in your relationship? Do you establish like, okay, like, I'll take care of X, Y, and Z because these are my strengths, X, Y, Z. But like when it comes to leading the home, do you have a conversation about like how things are going to resolve? Like, all right, you get final say on this, or you get final say on that. Like, how does that work? And I feel like that's the overall point when it comes to gender roles.
Okay, let me address that. Then I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna answer this question, and then Dana, go ahead and kill me in with your words. So this is what I'm saying. I don't even know if these modern dudes watch basketball. I don't know if they follow like sports. LeBron James, if LeBron James walks in the gym on the team, it ain't no discussion of who getting the ball. We already know the role. You score the points, I get the Gatorade when you get tired. Wow. Those are the roles. That's how teams work. So I'm not saying that women, when they get married, their job is to do it, but I'm saying most of the people on here claim that they Christian, right? That I know of, say that they Christian. The Bible is super clear on how it goes. Men work, sweat, have a dream, build it. Find you a woman who, I think it comes down to we make bad choices because we like people for all the other reasons. But it's very clear. Men have this role. Women are to help us and do this. Feminists and modern, Nikki's favorite word, modern women have have decided that they're not comfortable with that for good reasons. A lot of dudes abuse that.
That's
I
true.
admit that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got STDs, but people still out here wanging. So they decided that that's not how it should go. And they not doing that. They want to be free. They want to be women, independent. That's the life that they wanted. And so they start looking for that. And these dudes are so soft and so modern. They like, you know what? I don't need to protect my house. If a burglar break in, she should be able to go downstairs and handle her business. I'm just gonna sit back and make the muffins. That's no, don't make that.
I don't
face.
know if the men
That's
on
how
here
it
are
is.
like that.
That's how it is.
Okay, so maybe
Nobody
that's
said they
modern men,
making
but I
muffins.
don't know if that's like.
Thank
I
you.
have
See
a
that?
9mm
See that?
and I make muffins.
What you say,
See that?
Dana?
Huh?
I have a 9mm and I make banana muffins.
Now I know you got 9mm. Who going downstairs? Let me ask you this. Since we talking about there shouldn't be no gender roles. Dana, somebody breaking your house, who going downstairs?
Me.
I don't want to hear nothing else about no gender. I don't want to hear nothing about no modern nigga. He's a real nigga. He just proved it. He's real. I knew it, but now y'all know it. So don't buy all
It's my
this like,
kitchen.
I just want to stay home and bake muffins. And nah, that ain't him.
I do.
See,
But nobody
it's a
said
struggle.
that was him.
It's a struggle going on here. See, real
No,
nigga,
it ain't.
and then the modern, this new modern wave is pulling at my poor brother here. But we gonna set him free
No,
tonight
brother,
in
you-
Jesus' name.
Going in your name.
Okay,
You need help.
hold on. Where's that question? So I can address this question real quick. Then Dane, I'm gonna give you the flow. I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't got no jokes, man. This is real life. This is real life, man. Okay. So Blue asked me, what was one of my weaknesses that Siobhan is strong in? That's a gender role. Let's see. Cooking.
It's definitely not cooking. I'm not a cook.
I don't know. I can't think of nothing. Our roles are well defined, which is why our marriage is successful for the most part. But I will say I was a soft, modern man for the beginning of our marriage because I believed a lot. Then I was like, one day I was like, bro, what are you doing? You soft. You being a real girl right now. In other terms, you need to man
Be
up.
soft is to be a girl.
Yeah. I'm not gonna duck no smoke. Can we be honest? Who wants a hard girl? Who wants a hard girl? Don't nobody on this chat. Well, I don't know. These new dudes might. I'm not finna lay down with no girl and both our calf muscles feel the same. No. No. We not both going to the barbershop and getting the same fade. No. If you can outbench me, we getting divorced. I'm not finna. I might as well marry
You can
another one.
outbench me.
I'm not going.
Okay.
I'm
My
not going.
stomach
Go ahead,
hurts a
and
little
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna mute myself so because can't nobody hear me.
Wow.
Hi, Dana. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Wow. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just making sure. It's good to see you, sister. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. That's my kitchen. Don't nobody go in my kitchen but me. I'm the one that watches Food Network and Lifetime and and HGTV. But I do that after I'm up at 4:00 in the morning doing praise and worship and studying the Bible and all of that. I'm the one walking the dog and picking up her poop and feeding her. Banana nut muffins. Actually, I'm gonna make some tomorrow morning. I got a 6:30. I have a 7:30 Bible study that I do every Saturday morning with a bunch of brothers. And then when I'm done with that, I'm making, or if I get up early enough, I'm gonna make the banana nut muffins. Am I weak? Am I soft? Watch it, because I'll snap your neck. Because for some of y'all that don't know, never mind, I'm not gonna go there.
No.
Discretion is a better part of valor. No, I can't do that.
Okay.
but Nikki knows of my past life and how crazy I was. And I don't know, maybe it's an advantage of age that I have over you and experience that makes me realize the defined stereotypical roles are garbage for me and for my house.
Why do you say that?
I was never going to out earn my wife. Her part-time job when we got together made more than my full-time job.
Okay.
And then she was going into her career. So yeah, it does that make me a modern man? That's a good equation.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So you said you will never out earn your wife.
Unless I hit the lotto.
Right. So you'll never out earn her, and you're the one at home taking care of kids, doing more of the traditional female role stuff, right?
Yes.
So because she makes the money, does she wear the pants, or is it still like more of a traditional sense of husband and wife without the money aspect?
We collaborate.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, I understand. We collaborate on every major decision. Refinancing mortgages, getting cars, doctor's visits, which doctor, vacation spots, whatever, Christmas stuff. We collaborate and decide together on everything. Right. But at the end of the day, it's me.
So why is it you? And one of my points was, I feel like when it comes to gender roles, I guess my bigger question, or the bigger thing I want to discuss is the relationship dynamic when it comes to decision making, when it comes to, who's leading, is it like a 50-50 lead? Is it a 51-49? Like how does that work for you? Is it like where she feels left and you feel right, maybe about something that is kind of major, like who gets Trump? Not Trump or like who wins. I don't really mean it like that. But I mean, like, is it like, well, you're the head of the house, so I'm gonna respect what it is. Yeah, what's the deciding vote?
The deciding vote is we both take a step back, pray about it until we both agree. And then unless it's, I mean, we have disagreements about how we raise the boys.
Okay.
And that's partly because of the way I was raised by my mom.
Okay.
Things that my mom allowed, her mother just never did. I think when it comes down, when the proverbial rubber meets the road and we have to make a decision, actually, I think a lot of times I acquiesce and I also say, okay, we'll do it your way. Unless it's just something just like, and it also depends on what it is we're talking about. Something for the house, I'm going to make the final decision on it. Something relational with the boys, I'm going to let her go. Definitely anything medical, she's got the final say.
Right. She's the expert.
She's the expert.
She's the expert.
Well, I don't think either of us mind asking for help and asking for an outside opinion that's unbiased. I'll go to one of my mentors who's been married 33 years now, and like, hey, this is where we at. What do you think? And I think she does the same thing. I don't know, but she's got her group that she can rely on that have been married, that are married. So it's not like she's just getting single women in her ear, nothing like that. And honestly, I think for us, while I like I said, I have the final say because that is a biblical paradigm, what she says goes. Because we agree on so many things.
No, I can't take this number.
Because we agree on so many things, it's not like it's my choice or her choice.
Right.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Say what?
I have a couple questions I want to ask.
Okay, of course you do. I'd be surprised if you didn't.
Thank you. So back in your crazy killer past,
Yes.
why did you change?
I was tired of going to jail.
Good.
I feel like that's a valid thing.
But honestly, the most important reason is my godson. I promised him
Hey Rick, can you
when
mute
he
your
was
phone?
born that I would be there for him as best as I can.
I said, can you mute your phone? I can't hear Dana until you about to talk or whatever. Thanks. My bad. I missed that last part. I heard your last one, but I didn't hear what you said after that.
I made a promise to my godson, who is now 25, that I would be there for him. He had a do-nothing dad. His mother was my best friend. And so I decided that I needed to be a better example of what a male was, from a male to a man for him. Every graduation he had, I was at. Cub Scouts, kindergarten, 8th grade. He has, and he knows to this day, all he has to make is one phone call. I will drop whatever for him. And I am consistent with that. That's what changed me. That was the beginning of what changed me. Maya Grace changed me. Maya got me focused on being more attentive in church and having a stronger spiritual life. So it wasn't Hammer Time action that changed me. It was leaving a legacy and realizing that I was leaving a legacy and what my legacy was that changed me.
All right. So let me get in my observation, sir.
Don't do that.
No. This is how we got to move. So one of the things I noticed when you're talking, sir, is you said that you had the final say, but then you said she has the last word. So I guess my point of this new modern man is I feel like you're saying that you had the final say. That's a gender role. That's being head of your house. And you said it was biblical. But at the same time, you couldn't just say that and they had to be like, but my wife has a final. All I'm saying is, sir, is that it's okay to have gender roles and say, I make the final decision. You can't share, David. First of all, let me say this, because my wife is texting me. If I spoke offensively, I apologize. All I'm saying is I want people to be honest. You don't have to like. I'm sure there are people on LeBron James' team that feel like they're better than him, but they're not. That's why he's LeBron James. He gets a $40 million. He gets all these other things, and you're a role player. Like it's okay. And I feel like we say be Christian and we quote the Bible. The Bible is clear about what God says about who's the head of the household. It didn't say who makes more money, who does this and that. And we've gotten away from that, and we come up with all these different reasons and excuses and different ways to like put it, and we've turned it into like, oh, it means slavery, it means this and that. But it's clear. And we let society change that, and men are different. Women always love to quote when we talk about the Garden of Eden, be like, well, woman sinned. But Adam was standing right there, and who did God talk to when they sinned? He talked to Adam. So my thing is like, I just feel like
he talked to all three. He talked to all three. He talked to Adam, he talked to Eve, and he talked to the serpent. He didn't just talk to Adam.
No, for the punishment. But I'm saying when Eve bit the apple, what did God say? Nothing. When she gave it to Adam and he ate it, did God say something? Yes. He was talking at, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know, bro. I just maybe it's just I mean, I know it's a difference of opinion. I don't know how else to say it. Like it's okay for man to be the head. Like that's okay.
It's okay. Of course it is.
Without having to be like, well, girl.
But it's not. But making sure that my wife washes my drawers and keep.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying about the wife has to wash her drawers all the time.
Why does she have to watch it any of the time? You're a
grown
ass man.
I'm saying because statistically, I'm just saying
statistics numbers can be misconstrued. Have you ever taken a stats class?
Our stats.
Have you ever taken a stats class?
Yes. Yes.
And so you also know then numbers can be.
I'm saying numbers don't tell the whole story
to fill any role you want it to fill.
But what would be the point? What's the point? What's the point of saying that though?
What's the point in saying what?
I'm saying why would they flip that to make that look a certain kind of way? Would you agree that data is recorded events?
You got a couple people asking you the same question. So by head, do you mean have the final say? And somebody else put there you go right there. Blue said, are you saying that men need to be the head without being submissive? So it's two
yes. Yes, men aren't supposed to be submissive.
They're not.
No. So what happens if? Wait. Whoa.
Oh my goodness! Why are y'all doing this?
So if you and Siobhan have $1,000 in the bank, that's it. That's all you got. You say, babe, I'm about to go out here and take this $1,000 and I'm about to put a concrete pad in the backyard. She says, this is all the money we got, Dre. Like, what? You can't do that. You gonna go put the pad in the backyard anyway?
Yes.
First of all, hello, can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Whoa, what's that?
Hey guys, how are you? Well, first of all, hey, how are you? Bonnie gang, I'm in here. I'm driving at the moment, so that's probably the reason you don't see me. But I'm probably gonna point something out. If that guy spends that $100, like what happened? Like the whole world has went topsy-turvy. Like I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? A guy is there to lead, and guess what? Let's go back to when you guys was talking about the roles that a guy should play or whatever like that. If it's not a strong suit, you should have known the strong suit before you married him. So my thing is, a guy is supposed to lead. Now, if he leads you to the Titanic, guess what? You knew that before you married him. So you follow him. I'm not saying that there could be a little bit of correction, but you knew this going into the marriage. This is the same way he knew that you was going to be that independent woman, such and such, such and such. Like, it is bad. Like I said, I hate to bring race into this, but it is a race thing. And
why is it
like I said, because you black women feel entitled. You feel entitled to something.
What? Hold on, just for correction.
Okay, wait. You can't talk so fast because.
What race are you, sir? Just for
me, I'm black. And guess what? I've been with a lot of black women before I got with my Latino woman.
Hold on. You real loud, bro. I don't know what kind
you are very loud. It's muffled.
I'm on headphones. Forgive me.
No, you good.
So explain entitled.
Entitled.
Black women.
We've been through this already through the other episodes. If you watch Reddit M, make sure you watch that every Friday. You know, we just talk about this. Entitlement. You black women feel entitlement. You women, but I'm gonna say it. You women. Huh?
Can you provide an example of entitled?
No, I'm not gonna provide. Go back to other stuff. Like, I'm not going back. We already discussed the whole entitlement thing. Go back and watch the Rated M shows. Now,
Okay, go ahead. Finish
I
your point.
will bring this up though. But in one of the conversations we did have, you said it went back because my mom was strong, or my grandma was strong. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes women have to be strong. Women are strong. I will give that to you. I don't care what type of race you are. Women are strong. But the reason I'm coming at black women because I'm black and you're losing. So don't think that I'm coming at you as like I'm better than you. It's not that. I don't think I'm better than no one. But the whole thing is black women are losing. And that's the correction. And you guys don't want to admit that. And that's the whole thing. The first thing in AA is that you have to admit when you're wrong. You want these modern men. You want to be the strong woman. You want to be like, ain't no way I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dad. When I was raised, like, get your butt out and go get your job. And then guess what? If my wife, then guess what? That means I gotta bring my hustle up. Like, what happened? What happened to man being a man? Like, my wife don't touch no trash. I got pit bull. She don't touch my dog. All the manly things, but guess what? She gonna get her ass up. I'm sorry for the person, but she gonna get her tail up and she gonna go pump her own gas. I mean, if I'm there with her, guess what? I'm gonna pump the gas, babe. But guess what? This is your car. Learn how to take care of it because I won't be here always. My thing is with my wife is I try to teach her because I'm not gonna be here always. I'm not gonna be here always.
All right, hold on. Let me. I see Dana's making faces. Everybody's going crazy in the comments.
I guess.
I want to give people a couple chances to retort or ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Dana, do you have any? You was making a lot of faces, brother. So, do you have a question or something you disagree with, or you want to explain further, or anything like that? No. Okay. All right. So All right. I'm gonna address a couple guys in the comments, because this is starting to get sickening now. All right. We all love black women. Most of us are married to black women. Our mother, by definition, was a woman. And she was probably black if we're black. You don't have to keep going out. This is what I'm talking about. Like, we can't have a regular conversation just being men without having to, like, well, the black woman is rising and they get the education. I not one time said that a woman had to be a servant or intimidated. Nobody, thank you. Nobody said that. I didn't say that. I don't think I insinuated that at all. But that's the first thing y'all run to. It's like, oh, well, why does that mean she has to be a slave to be a child? We're the slaves. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. The modern man, we're the slaves. Now, of course, women are going to be like, I think we should be equal. Of course they think we should be equal. Because the way it was traditionally set up by this God in this Bible, in the first chapter, you don't even have to go far to look for it.
He said you ain't gotta go
He's
far. Clear
on who's the head of the household and who's not. I didn't say that. Y'all keep saying, I didn't say that. This Bible and all these Bible studies that y'all doing and all this stuff, read the first chapter. You don't have to like it. Society don't have to say it's cool. That's what it is. Why don't y'all question God? Is God talking about intimidating? Nobody said nothing about intimidating to making a slave. All I'm saying is it's okay for a man to be a man. Old Testament and New, where is the first chapter of the Bible at? I can't see. We got all these built-in like ways to avoid hard topics and stuff we want to talk about, whether it's Old Testament or New, niggas in the Bible. Ain't he the same guy yesterday, today? Oh, my fault. We only saying that for songs. We don't really mean it. First chapter. It's not hard. So miss me with all this, like, you're saying a woman is, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying God defined clear roles. People have changed it, and new modern men are going with that.
And so what is that doing? And so they're going with that. So for devil's advocate, what's wrong?
I know we don't trust stats. Even if you want to look at stats, Go look at most of our family reunions. How many aunties we got with no husband? And then the people who can't get no man justify it and be like, well, you don't need no man. No, you don't have a man. So you have to change your tires because no man wants you. But don't act like that was the design. I'm saying nobody's life is perfect, and I understand doing what you got to do, but don't act like that's the original intent of how it was designed. The Bible is very clear on what a man's role and responsibilities are in the home. Old Testament, New Testament. He's very clear. A woman's role is very clear. All I'm saying is just be honest. If that's not what you want to do, then just say, you know what, man, that's not really what I want to do. I know the Bible say that, but don't get on here and try to convince me to like, oh no, this is how men are supposed to be. It's supposed to be equal. We supposed to both. She supposed to be pregnant 4 months. I carried the baby 5 months. That ain't how it go.
No.
And it's anger and it's sickness because you got all these men like, and they raising the next generation. And that's why you got all these dudes out here that shooting guns because they can't fight because they don't have no nigga to explain that's how they do. They taking them to therapy and self-care and bubble baths and R&B music. Calm down now.
Oh
That's not how we do.
Oh gosh.
This is the new age. Like, that's not how it goes. It's not. I know, like, and I'm not even saying my way is the right way. I'm just saying most of us on here say that the Bible is our source. But then y'all get in here and want to ask me and play around like, well, where is it in the Bible? Does it matter? I love Black women. I'm married to one. I was birthed into this world by one. I had 2 Black daughters. And yes, I'm going to teach them the same thing. Be a girl. Don't no nigga want no nigga or we would go get a nigga.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying. Like, if you don't want to live that way, that's cool. And maybe I shouldn't call you soft. That's just my opinion. That's not facts.
But I don't think it's fair for you to define what it means to be a girl.
Okay, because you polled them in on here, how many of them want to be? Dana got off. I don't know where he more than welcome to pop back up if you want to. I'm just saying. I'll say this. I feel like as a father for my daughters, it is my job.
But what does it mean? But how do you get to define what it means to be a girl? Like, how do you as a man get to define for a girl or a woman what it means to be a girl? So that's like me stepping up and saying, well, you're not being a man. I can't define for you what it means to be a man. I'm not a man.
But I'm saying I guess my premise is if we all coming from the Bible. If we not, then I can't say that. Then you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying divorce rates are higher. Women seem to be more miserable. You got all these stats worldwide, especially in the Black community, because we have this. We shall move on to the topic of modern women.
Finish your thought.
I'm just saying now, I don't even know. What was I saying? I don't know.
Because she asked you, how can you define what being a girl is? Because like she's not a man. She can't tell you you're not being a man. Right.
But I'm saying we have a clear thing that says this is what a man is, this is what he does, this is his responsibility.
Where does it say what it means? This is what it means to be a girl.
A helper.
It's
help.
just to be a helpmate, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to. You talking about the calves? Okay. I can't work out. I can't be strong. I can't have muscles. I can't like that. I don't see where is that definition that says that a woman has to be weaker or a woman has to.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't say weaker.
Okay. No. We're gonna let the Bible speak for itself. Y'all ask me. Y'all can finish y'all little conversation. I'm gonna find the scripture and I'm gonna read it verbatim. Y'all just don't like. Y'all don't like
something.
Y'all don't like that it says weaker. It's a difference between not liking and agreeing with it and then telling me what it says and doesn't say. That's one of the most popular scriptures in the Bible that women and feminists base their whole thing on. But I'm about to look it up. Y'all go ahead. Facts only. Oh, I'm going to attempt to read.
Nah,
and
bro, you
my-
done with that. Nah,
Alright.
don't even bring that soft voice out because you really done with that. You can't wishy-wash back and forth.
All right, cool.
That's done. While he's looking,
I got it. Does anyone
Okay.
want
Never
to?
mind.
Does anybody interpret? Oh Lord, now we talking about interpretation.
come on, just
I'm
focus.
gonna
'cause
read
you
to
get
you.
distracted.
Okay. If anyone wants to fact check with me, it's 1 Peter, chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to their knowledge, giving honor to the wife as unto the weaker vessel,
Okay.
and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers not be hindered. This is God talking. I didn't make this up. You don't have to like it. That's cool. You can go to like a different version that was written later and find another word. At the end of the day, it's okay. Now we talking about context. All right. Y'all want to read the whole chapter? Like
No.
this is what I'm saying. Like we pick and choose. Like it's cool, man. It ain't no getting through the men. Ladies, y'all have done a great job.
No,
Y'all have turned men into women emotionally.
No,
on the
that's
inside.
not
Y'all
it.
have done a great. It is it.
That's not it at all.
It is it. It's great. Y'all, I'm giving y'all props. Y'all did a great job.
So you're saying that to have emotion and to admit that your wife is right that's not what men are supposed to do.
When did I say that?
Because you just got
No.
to, huh?
No, go ahead.
Because you keep pointing out, you turn them into soft, this emotional, like you keep pointing to that when you say attributes of what it means to be of this modern man. So are you saying that the opposite of that would be the non-emotional?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying over emotional. Like men have emotions. Okay, men have emotions. Do you think David is a warrior? Do you think when David was in battle, he was like, "Ouchie, somebody slashing me. I need a therapist. I need to go let my feelings out and do some self-care." No, that's a part of being a man. You carry weight.
But I guess one of my favorite movies is watching 300.
Right.
Where when a boy came in and was disrespectful, before he pushed that man into that pit, he looked at his wife. He was running the whole army. He wasn't a weak man by your definition. He wasn't this little timid little soldier over in the corner. He out there slashing people left and right and had a gazillion people at his back. But when it came to should I kill this man or not, he looked to his wife. Because he knew that he could not do it without her like having his back on that situation, and he chose not to. And in that moment, nobody saw him as weak. The army wasn't like, "Dude, you looking at your wife? Like, what is that doing?" Because they knew where she stood in her position in his life. So I guess that's he wasn't a modern man by your definition, but he did look to his wife before he did what he did.
How many people she killed in that movie?
I don't remember.
Since he couldn't kill this nigga without her permission. How many people she killed? How many armies she lead? I'm saying first one, I'm not gonna go with that because it's a movie and not real life. But in the movie thing, I'll say, I'm not saying you can't honor your wife. Like I didn't even have a problem with Dana being like, I asked my wife, she has say so. I'm just saying you can't say I'm the head of the household and my wife has final say so.
I guess I don't think that that's true. I don't look to as Andrell and I have very clear lanes, very clear when it comes to decisions on investing or contracts or our cell phone provider or our internet provider. He got the final say. I could care less. That's not my lane. But when it comes to the education, like what schools the kids are going to go to and stuff like that, that's my lane. I have the final say in that. But that doesn't mean that I don't respect him as the head of the house, because there are certain things that I'm more knowledgeable on that he's not knowledgeable on, where he's like, I'm going to lean on your expertise on this particular thing. But that doesn't mean that he's not the head of the house.
Okay, women, I want you to do an experiment. I want you to go and ask your husbands. Tell your husband there's no penalty for this question. Ask him, does he feel like the head of the house? I don't want you to say he's the head of the house. I want you to ask that man, does he feel like he's the head of the house? Because that's one thing I noticed that women do a lot. Y'all tell us what it is. And that's not how, well, I can't even say that now. That's not how old, I don't know, old men or whatever, Stone Age niggas.
Stone Age.
The modern man may agree. The modern man may be like,
can we go all the way back to the Stone Ages?
the modern man may be like, yes, I agree. I'm the head and not the tail. Like, that's what the modern man gonna say.
I mean, but you look at Dana's situation. His wife is a whole doctor. It would be foolish of him to make the final say in medical decisions. That would just not be wise.
No, I'm not saying that women should be quiet church mouths. I'm saying the head of the household. But I
think that, but wait a minute, because I think you guys are missing each other. But I'm saying, like, I feel like when it comes to like what Dana said, they're kind of compartmentalizing final say when it comes to their strengths. So when he said my wife gets final say on the medical stuff, it's because she's a doctor. When he said like I get final say about things going in the home, that's because that's where he is. Like that's where their strengths are. I don't think he meant like I have final say, but she gets
Thank you for being honest, bro.
Final say in this. So that's how I hear it. That's what I'm saying.
I got you. I'm just saying I feel like this is like the excuse when we don't want to have a hard conversation, to be honest. Is always the one. I'm not saying in sports, you have a coach, you have a head coach, you have an assistant coach, you have scouts. When the NFL draft, when any draft comes up, the scouts, that's their job. The head is the overseer. He doesn't do one particular thing. He's a guy in charge. Your scout team, their job is to scout players. You come back, you give the head coach all the information, and then he makes a decision. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the man or if the man's a head coach in the house that he don't have no scouting department and the wife don't have nothing to say. When I say the head of the household, we talk, we discuss the information, and then the man makes a decision. Because the wife, if he can't do that, why is he here? That's a biblical foundation. That's not me.
But I'm saying, I guess in the same example. So if one of Dana's kids is sick and ill, he's the head of the household by your definition. They discuss it. He don't agree with her decision. He gonna make the final decision, even though he knows that that's not his lane and he's not a doctor.
That's how it's set up. But I'm saying, why is it? Okay, of course, no, in that situation. But why is it always the nigga got to make a dumb decision? Most of the time, men don't ignore their wives. You just gave the example where the woman girl gave the killer the nod and he killed the dude. It's not like men don't take into the thing. And again, I think this is the defense mechanism we always use. Like, well, what if the wife does this and the man just like, if we only got $1,000, ain't no intelligent dude gonna go blow it on a stone wall or whatever we said. That's not most guys.
But there are some dumb decisions that I made. No, I mean, that's an extreme. But I guess I just don't. I struggle with the dichotomy of you saying head of house and making the final decision, because I don't think that one unseats the other.
But I guess I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, all I'm trying to say is it's not my design. I'm not making the rules. I'm saying if this is the Bible that we say we're gonna let you, everybody has something or somebody that they base their marriage on, just like everything in life. If you were raised by a woman who was scarred by men, you're gonna grow up thinking men not nothing and you don't need no man. That's just because of how you learn. That's how you look through the lens and see it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. You continue to use the Bible as a source missing. Oh Lord, here we go with this history stuff. Stop it, man. This ain't the place. I'm not finna listen to this Bible history stuff. Because most of y'all niggas got the girl y'all got because y'all niggas was saved because you have no other qualifications. So miss me with that. Yes, I'm not making assumptions. I know the world we live in, we don't like facts. We don't like that. We want our own opinion to be facts. They asking hundreds of thousands of married people a question and they go by the thing. So my thing is, if you want to be I'm not gonna call him. If you want to be a modern man and be equal with your wife, God bless you. That is your decision, and I pray that your marriage is great. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because studies show that people who have gender specific roles are happier and their marriages last longer.
Okay.
If you want to take your chance and be in the other party, go ahead. That's cool.
So I guess when we
don't complain.
right. So I guess when we look at like the rate of marriage in our community, you know, like only 25% of Black women are married, and there are so many more Black women than men, Black men, I should say. Excuse me. I guess like that mixed with like who sets the standard for your marriage. You know what I mean? Like that should be, like you said, the deciding factor of maybe how this should go. You know, like how the roles get played, husband and wife. Who's setting the standard? You know, biblically, or is it kind of we're kind of doing this based on our own knowledge, so to speak, or kind of just what we want? No, I didn't say that was biblical. It was either we're doing biblically or we're doing our own thing. I didn't say that was biblical.
Calm down in the word. But see, this like I don't know. I mean, it's cool. Like I said, I'm just talking about facts and studies. All I'm asking is why are Black women and Black men the two highest divorce people in the country as of 2020? And if you guys want a site or a source, all you have to do is Google what race has the highest percentage of divorce in 2020. It's Black people. The reason why that number doesn't go down is because we can't have conversations like this and be honest. 1 out of 4 Black women are married. 1 out of 4. That's the highest of all the races. You know who has the lowest races in countries or situations where the man is a manly, the traditional man as we know it. Asian is about as manly as man can get. They have the lowest because there are clear roles and people accept it and are happy and they're good. We worried about our feelings. I'm trying to think about our children. That's all I'm saying. So you telling me all men ain't nothing? 3 out of 4 men ain't nothing. And if you trying to get on here and talk to me about white people, I'm not listening to y'all talk about systematic racism and all this stuff. Is why no. So if 1 out of 4 women are married, that means 3 out of 4 niggas ain't nothing. That's what y'all telling me. I'm just saying, I just want to have an honest conversation. Dana, bro, if you was offended about what I said, you my nigga, bro. I don't never want to offend you, bro, at all. Whether you make banana muffins or cookies or killing niggas and doing drive-bys on the weekend, I'm gonna be in the kitchen or driving the car. So we all good. I
lost my laptop.
Oh no, yeah. You all good. I ain't say that's why you got off.
I thought it was Dana was like, you know what?
No. I wanted to say that to you in front of everybody. I was gonna hit you up, but I
ain't that soft.
No, I know, bro. No, I'm just saying. If I feel like
I work through my emotions.
If I feel like I offended you or something in public, I just want to apologize in public. I ain't want to get you inbox like my bad, bro.
Look, you lucky you got them 2 cuties, or 3 cuties, including the wife. Otherwise, you know. But like I said, I retired from that.
But no, I just our community. This is my opinion. I'm not saying this is facts. I feel like one of the reasons why our community suffers through so many issues is because we can't be honest about something without getting emotional and thinking you talking about me.
I agree with that.
A lot of our homes are fatherless. That doesn't mean you're a bad father or I'm a bad father. That's just What
reality
that's
of
what it
across
is.
the board, just across the board, generally speaking.
Yeah, in general. And I think in our community, like, we so worried about how we look in front of other people or what that's gonna mean, or I ain't doing all that and blah blah blah. No, this and this and this, and nothing's getting done. We still last. Black people, if what we make in America, we are the 10th wealthiest nation in the world.
Mhm.
But who spends the most money on lottery tickets? The 10th wealthiest nation in the world. And yes, the systematic racism play a part in it, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's 2021. Like, we learn how to eat better. We learn how to do all this other stuff. These athletes learn how to play basketball till they 40. Why can't we learn financial literacy, dealing with emotions, having an honest conversation about why is the perception that so many people in our community get rich and marry outside the race? That's a real thing, whether you're comfortable talking about it or not. That's real. We can't Bible and gender roll our way out of our circumstances. We need to think our way out of our circumstances. Bro, if you've been with 6 people, if you've been with 6 women and you got divorced, guess who the common denominator is? You, my nigga. It's not that women, but what do we do as black people? What do we say to black people? Man, they just can't handle me, bro. I'm just too much for them. What? Because I will say this, where I feel like racism has played a part in this whole, even in like marriage and men just identifying who we are, is that it taught us how to cope and not thrive. We real good at coping. So if I'm not good at something, I just come up with all these sayings like why it's all right that I'm not good about it. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm not a skinny dude. That's like me going to court, somebody run past me, and I'm like, man, I ain't trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be slow. Fat niggas run this, fat nigga game. That's what we do. Instead of being like, maybe I should lose weight so I can get better. And I think it's okay. Like, I get the whole black woman movement and black women are disrespected, so we got to go out of our way and like big them up. I understand that, but it's okay to say, maybe this is an area we can all work together and help. Now, in the same way, I can't speak for these women. I see a lot of women online and women I talk to, and you ask them, why are they? Because men aren't men anymore.
When you ask them what?
That's somewhat.
Like,
Yeah.
why aren't they married? Why aren't they in a relationship? Why do they feel like I've been spending this 1 out of 4 black women I'm married was shocking to me. So I spent most of my week like looking up, watching interviews, trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? And I see these interviews and like, well, men aren't men anymore. Like, I don't want to have to get up and work and be responsible for all the bills. And I don't want to have to do this and I don't want to have to do that. My thing is, I just don't think it's fair to like pick and choose when we want gender roles to be a thing and then when we don't want it to be. That I guess that's my main thing. While watching Kevin saying something, you stupid.
Hey, Kevin, no.
But even him, like, I hate his delivery, but his facts, they facts. And women, after they get done getting out their emotions on the show, be like, okay, well, yeah, that's true, da 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 da. Like, it's okay. I don't know. I don't want to keep rambling on, but for me, that's just an issue. I think this is the area that we suck in because it doesn't even have to do necessarily with the 2 people that's married. It has to do with, you know, Andrell said, take back our education, our culture. We know that's going to happen with kids. And if I grow up, I'm not going to go back to the modern man thing. If I grow up seeing certain images, I don't feel like I have to do certain things when that's what God called me to do. I guess depending on your interpretation of your doctrine and all this other stuff that we gonna say. Because the Bible's not what it says anymore. And we see it. You see these girly dudes, they can't get into a fight and get beat up. They gotta come back and shoot somebody because they feelings hurt, because they don't know how to handle their emotions. which is a characteristic. I guess I can't even say that on this show. To me, it's simple that a man's job is usually to not be led by his emotions. I think throughout history, that's more of a woman thing. That men aren't supposed to be led, like your emotion is not supposed to make a decision for you. Men are usually, for lack of a better term, fact over emotion. Like I feel this way, but I know that this is what I'm supposed to do, so we do it. Like most niggas don't want to get up and go to work where they go to work at. A man can hate a job and complain, but as long as he putting his kid through college, he's not gonna quit. Women too. Let me say that before I get. So what you saying? Women can't. Women too. What I'm saying is we have feminine boys out here, and most men will tell you that. It used to be you get into a fight, you lose. You either come back and fight them later, or you just got to go through school and be the dude who got beat up. Now they're going to grab an AK because you ain't familiar like no goofy but that's because we don't have strong. Thank you, Greg. Facts over feelings. We don't have strong male leadership of what they need, and that's what I'm saying. We do what we want and tell people that's what we need because that's all we can do. It's okay to be like, man, I need to be doing this, but I can't do it right now. Let me just get better at that.
So are you saying that like a man who is in a less traditional role is kind of like a byproduct of that, or like byproduct? But I'm saying like the byproduct of that is the next generation is like unled, so to speak. Thank you. Watered down. Thank you.
Yes. I mean, I think even if you look through history, like we get better, like technology wise, but as people, we kind of weaker. Like, bro, they build we still don't know how they built the pyramids. We have no clue. All these smart people can't figure out how these Africans with no technology, no computers, built these amazing. We don't know. Like we complain about how hard it is now, and I know that like every generation is like, you subject to your own plights, but like we not getting hosed. We can go to any hose. Let me say that. I ain't saying hose. Don't jump on me.
Thank you.
We're not getting the water hose. It's right. Right. We're not getting dog sick on us. We don't have to go to a certain water fountain. And you know what I'm saying? We cry, complain, and I get that things are different and systematic and it's still oppression. I'm just saying the way like older generations were stronger. They had something on the inside of them that was stronger. And I think a lot of that is because under no circumstance am I saying America is a Christian country. Let me get that clear right now. But see, this is what I gotta. I'm gonna stay on top. Andrea, all the people that I know have gotten killed. You know who they got killed by? Niggas. Do white people hunt us down and kill us? Yes. But let's talk about the 80%. Y'all get what I'm saying. But again, I guess that's what I'm saying is like
it's the problem is multifaceted, multi-layered, and has to be addressed on each of those platforms. And I think part of the issue is one person wants to hold this platform and run with it, and that's the only thing. And you're neglecting. You got 5 fingers or 4 fingers, and I only want to care about my thumb, and you got somebody else only wants to care about the pinky finger. But you got to care about the whole thing to make the fist. And I think a lot of people just sometimes we like denominations. They run and grab, baptism only on, communion only on the first Sunday, and that's it. And they just run with that.
I agree.
Nobody spends the time to be honest and address all of it. It all needs to be discussed.
Yeah, I agree.
So that I think that's just
No, yeah, I agree. I guess for me, why I'm so passionate is like I've always been taught that like the family is God's example to the world of his relationship with us, with the church. And so my thing is like Black families are suffering bad. And it seems to be the same thing over and over again. But I just feel like no one wants to talk about the solution because it hurts. It's painful to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all these built-in things and these things that we run to not have the conversation. And Jarrell making me mad right now with these comments. But and Jarrell, we were talking, I think we talked last night. And he was like, man, it's hard having to like get better at myself. Cause I gotta look at my own issues.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's one of the big things I think that's happening in America. Because it's hard to hear something or say something negative to a person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with and that you love and care about. But I feel like people would rather be happy with a lie than to have truth. Because we all talk about freedom and what we want, but sometimes when it's presented in our face, we don't want to do it because it hurts you bad. So we run back to all these built-in things that people have given us. Like my thing is, I don't have no horse in the race. What I try to do is look at, okay, who are the smart people? And then what do they say? So again, like basketball has come to analytics because they looked at it and said, it makes more sense for you to shoot a 3-pointer than a 2-pointer because you can make them at a really close percentage and one's worth more than the other. So you get Steph Curry and these dudes come along and they do that. But then you got the older people like, oh, that's trash. That's garbage. It's like, no, it's not trash. It's garbage. It's just smart. You listen to what the smart people say. If you don't want to play like that, don't. But don't be mad when you lose. And I feel like we see what's going on. Because the reason, I don't think nothing I said was crazy. I don't think it was shocking to nobody on here. We've all heard it, that Black women are the most divorced and Black people have the most divorce. And my thing is like, you can choose to ignore that, but then don't be online saying Black men ain't this and Black men ain't that. And I'm not going to call no names. I'm not the type of dude. I'm not that type of person. But a lot of these dudes on here that's capping right now on this chat, our inbox conversation, our phone conversations be totally different. It ain't this Black woman energy. And that's a part that makes me mad. Is because y'all get on here and y'all be capping. But when we have a conversation, my wife is not doing this. I'm thinking about leaving because of blah, 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 blah. That's one of the reasons I started this show. Come like, man, men don't have no place to like just be honest. But these niggas can be honest.
And so,
and I'm not saying
everybody, I'm talking about the ones that
I talk to.
Right. But to kind of go back in a conversation that you and I had, like, and why Rated M was started was you can't be honest because you feel like you're not a man in your own house.
Yeah, but
like that was the underlying thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the woman is the head, so to speak, because you know, my husband can or can't do this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I've had men that said to me, my wife, they don't even like going to church. Like my wife shouts and yells and quotes the Bible all day, but I'm not the head of my house. But then when I bring it up and say it on here, dudes all on here, you wrong, bro. That's not how you say it. That's what you said, bro.
Whoops.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And again, I would never put nobody on blast. I would never put nobody in blast and ruin the confidence of what they're saying to me. But that's why I was getting mad. That's why I was really calling soft. I don't like that. But the thing is, there's a lot of men. Maybe it's not Dana. Maybe it's not Andrell. Maybe it's not David. Maybe it's not y'all. But there's a lot of men who are suffering in silence. because they can't say nothing because we have a culture that like we protect our women even if they wrong.
I can see that because I mean I've got 3 or 4 guys that I am completely tight with, and when we let it ride, and we don't hold anything back. One is a minister. Another one is kind of agnostic, I guess. So I get, the logical side. I swear he's part Vulcan. But why we work is because we are totally transparent and totally honest, and that is the key to why we work. And I would agree. You got to be able to trust somebody. You got to be able to be vulnerable with everything to have, and I've got to be comfortable with him checking me and telling me, dude, you have lost your rabbit ass mind.
That's a fact.
And
that's a fact.
A lot of men don't, because we see that. That's
a lot.
That
a lot of men will.
We don't believe it. I
I
didn't
agree.
believe I could find people like that. I could find brothers like that. But I can honestly say I got 4 that I can call and say any time of day, look, talk me off this ledge. Tell me I'm crazy.
I feel you. I got people like that too.
And that's why I appreciate you all for starting this. Because I believe the first 2 or 3 episodes were men just ain't got no place to say what they want to say.
Yeah.
And that was the hook for me. Because
and my thing is nothing wrong with that. We had a heated back and forth. You still my dog at the end of the day. You can call me tomorrow, and that's all I'm saying. Like that.
Right.
One, I feel like it's needed, but I feel like there's no point if you got all this energy in private. And then like this question right here, and David, my dog, he at my son's school, so I'm definitely watching how I'm talking to him. But it's like, are these fellas doing something wrong? I guess one of the things that bothers me is like it's always that though. The question is never, are these women doing something wrong? It's why are these men doing? Like, why do you assume that the woman is always doing what she's supposed to be doing, and we always got to be the ones to make an adjustment? That's what I mean when I say modern men, a mentality. A dude can cheat and he don't get no excuse for why he did it. But a woman cannot be having sex with this man, not cooking, not doing, just being trash. And she got 1,000 excuses to why that's okay. And all we do is look at dude cheated, but we never look at like, well, what did the other person do?
What are the factors? Because it's not just a singular thing. It's got to be something on both sides, realistically.
Yeah, I agree, and that's all I'm saying. Like,
what happened to the light? You ain't talking.
His lights are on a motion sensor timer. That'd be the Lord shutting down. Like, nah, bro.
No, yeah, but that's all I'm saying, man. I just wanted to be. I just want to have equal accountability. Like I've known Dana a couple. We've talked a few times over a couple months. Dana does not strike me as the type of person that would kill his wife, just randomly. Like you wake up on a Tuesday, I mess up a batch of cookies and muffins. I'm killing everybody in this house. If I see on if I see in the news that happened, my first question is not going to be, well, what did he do wrong leading up to it? It's like, well, what made him snap? You know what I'm saying? I think we don't have that in our marriages. It's always assumed that the guy has done something wrong. Always. Even with the guys, which is weird to me. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, man. We have to protect our queens because nobody else will. I get that. But part of being a man is it's okay to have conversations and confrontation and not get emotional and be like, I hate you. I don't want to be married. I want a divorce. if it's like it's been 2 months since we got it popping, what's the problem? That's not the man's fault. Well, the man need to look better and do you know how y'all look with y'all makeup off in the bonnets? You think we see a supermodel every night? We don't.
That's a wall right there. That's a wonderful wall. Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, that's the truth, but it's all, you know what I'm saying? I've noticed that. I think in marriages, women are very much protected, and our society has taught men. That's all I mean by, I guess, the modern man. And I'm not even saying it's bad in all areas, but we've grown up in a culture to where, like, it's almost disrespectful to have an opinion that doesn't ride with everything that a woman thinks. Example, Dana, I'm gonna give you a saying, and I want you to give me the saying for men, okay? As soon as you remember, happy wife, happy life. Give me the husband one.
Ain't one.
Thank you very much. Because our lives don't matter. We're talking about Black Lives Matter.
Happy spouse, happy house.
Right. Happy spouse, happy house.
Right.
Like,
but that's never referred to for us.
What happens is just what happened. You get happy life, happy wife, and then the rebuttal is the general happy spouse, happy house.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's you know what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. It talking about nothing wrong. Well, there's plenty of words that rhyme with man.
Pam. High five to Pam. That's so funny.
That rhymes with husband. I'm sure there is one.
So funny.
But men can't get one. We can't get happy man, get a can, nothing. We can't even get a can, bro. I thought that in 30 seconds. It's a rhyming issue. Shut up, Brittany.
I agree. Brittany's a teacher. I trust her.
Expectations set by who? I don't know what you mean, Irma. What expectations? But that's all I'm saying is like, but we don't want to honestly say that. That's why we did the episode a while ago about is marriage as beneficial for men as it is for women? Because women have a whole system set up. Well, I guess I could say women have more margin for error than guys do. If a woman loses her job and a man's taking care of her, that's just kind of how it's supposed to go. If a man loses his job and a woman takes care of him, I'm talking about how society looks at it. He's a bum. He mooching off of her. He this and that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm married up.
yeah. And that's all I'm saying. Like, is maybe the better way for me to say it is there's more margin of error and equality. No hands equals a happy husband. You stupid. But I feel like equality is only one when it benefits one side, and that side is usually women. That's all I'm saying. When I say gender roles, there has to be a difference. It's roles in everything we do in life.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, very few people go to school to be the assistant principal. They go to school to be a principal, and for whatever reason happened along the way, they couldn't get it or they couldn't get it yet, but they have an important role too. It's all I'm saying. Gender roles doesn't mean women are less than. It just means like a different role. But hold on, let me put on mute because Andrea calling me a lot. Let me make sure.
Dana.
So what?
No, I was gonna say, just while Dre is muted, like one of the things I thought about is like your situation and your wife. Do you feel like people look at you a certain kind of way? When reformed assassin, reformed
male hoe assassin.
Okay, those are your words.
If I'm gonna put
Those
it
are your
out there,
words.
out there.
Because I didn't want to put nothing on you. I didn't want to put nothing on you.
No.
But I'm saying, like, you know, to go from maybe going down this path to doing a, you know, 360, 180, whatever, and then going down another path, and like you staying at home and your wife working, like, what's been people's response to that? Like, do you feel like people look at you away?
Some
Like, do people make comments?
Some do. Some people. The one place I've gotten the most comments was at church.
That's not surprising.
At all.
That's not surprising.
By people that were in leadership over me. I mean, that, you know, my ministry leads. A couple of them were like, "You sure about this? Well, we got to
So
find
what
you a
did
job. We got to do something."
Right.
I'm okay. We're okay. Because the key thing is we talked about it. It was the decision for our house. We talked about it. We prayed about it. And it was a decision between she and I and God, not, you know, pastor so-and-so and girlfriend this one and cousin this one. And
right.
It's got to be what's best for your house. It can't be, you know, like Dre was saying earlier, I'm an anomaly. Andrell's an anomaly.
Right.
You know.
And headship isn't determined. I mean, biblically speaking, isn't determined by breadwinner, so to speak. I mean, is that a fair statement? But I mean, I know that men are supposed to be providers.
Yeah,
you know, I think that's where that comes from.
So I don't provide in a typical way society says. I provide because I'm the one that prays for this house. I'm the one that provides because I'm the priest of this house. I get up and I pray over the house in the car, and I pray over the boys before they walk out, and I'm making their breakfast, and I'm making their lunches, and I'm making their dinners. I'm praying all the time. I'm the one that's, because it's not just my wife. I think my wife follows me because I follow Christ, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
God's the head of this house. He talks to me. And then I talk to her, and then she helps me develop the vision for the house and helps me run it. But it goes both ways, because there are things that she sees that I completely didn't see, or honestly, I didn't even want to see. So God's vision can't and will not stop. He'll just move on to the next one. And so he'll, instead of not telling me because I'm hard-headed, he'll tell her. And then when I hear it out of her, I say, "Oh yeah, that was confirmation. I should have did." So we'll do it her way, so to say. But in the end, it's all God.
So Dre, I just asked Dana, like, just in his situation that's different with his wife working and him being at home, like, what's the response that he's gotten? You know, have people said things? And he said that the place where he got the most like kickback was at church. I was like, I'm not surprised by that at all. But
which is weird, because I think biblically leadership has nothing to do with money. At least who's the head and who's not.
Right. I mean,
that wasn't a requirement. And I would say, I think why a person making however much, let's do a ballpark figure, let's say 6 figures. A woman making 6 figures would marry a man who's either unemployed or not making 6 figures, would be because of his leadership. That's somebody I can follow.
Yeah.
Because I think go ahead. You the expert, brother.
Not at all, because I'm not the smartest person in this room. So if I'm the expert, we all in trouble. I think somebody just said, I've been married. How old is my son? 10 years. But I also knew my wife.
Camera brother, get it right now.
Yeah, no, but I knew my wife back in high school. I met her in high school, so I've known her for decades through mutual friends. And I mean, hell, her first husband, I knew her first husband before she did. I used to talk to him about her while they were dating and married.
Smart man, keeping
Okay.
notes.
So,
You
Climb-
see,
climb
don't
on up.
no,
but
sir, no.
stop. Shh. You
No.
you're off mute.
Oh, you men, listen up now. If you single out there, listen up now. He preaching good now.
But I for us, she trusts me. Have I made mistakes? God, yes. Will I continue to make some? God, yes. I own up to them. I repent to God, to her, to the boys, to whoever. And I think the consistent thing for us is trying to do better. There was a time where I didn't want to do counseling. And then there was a time where I realized I had to do it. Because if I didn't, I wasn't going to be right for me to lead this house. And it's not just, I have a Christian counselor. I'm a Christian. It helps. But she also has, that balance. She knows she knows the Bible, but she also knows the technical mental stuff to help me work biblically through this, as well as practically. That's what works for me. It ain't gonna work for everybody that way.
No, I agree.
I submit. I have good role models. I've found the perfect man, as the Bible says, and I've marked him so I have who I can follow. And I've got 2 or 3 of those that I can watch, that I have watched. Men who have gone through being unemployed while their wives work. They got fired, they got laid off, or they had medical issues. They got injured at work. So the wife had to pick up an extra shift. So I've watched that, and I've watched them still have a successful marriage. So I know it can be done. And with that flip of his wife having to do these extra shifts, she still submitted. There was no doubt that he was the head of the house, but they had conversations about how many hours should she work, or could she work? Was there other things that needed to be done at the house, because he wasn't the best at keeping the house clean, and he'll admit that. Hell, I'm not the best at keeping the house clean. My wife will kill me if y'all saw the rest of this room right here. But I provide leadership in being the head in other ways. It's not always about the money.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let me ask a question, and I'm asking for a point, but I'm more curious because I don't want to start another 3-hour conversation. Was there any point? So, like, when this situation first happened with you and your wife, like when y'all first, well, I can't say when y'all first met, but when you finally decided y'all was gonna like be a couple, was there ever a point that you felt a certain kind of way about her making more money or being stay at home, or you good?
No, I mean, I knew going in.
Yeah.
Going in, when we first started dating, talking, whatever, at that point, she had a part-time job working for the government. It was making almost twice what I was making at a full-time job. And I had a decent job. I had been at that job for 10 years. I had some seniority there. And then she was going into her career. My wife's a 6-figure nigga. Real talk. My girlfriend, but I've been blessed. My girlfriend before that was a high 5-figure nigga.
I'm starting to learn.
Again, like I said, I married up.
There you go, brother.
But both of them were Christian women that believed in me and believed in pushing me to be better. Because I was a poop butt back in the day. Nikki will tell you.
I got you.
So I've improved, and I also know I got still a ways to go.
Oh, my bad.
Hold on for a second.
My bad, Greg. I just saw this, bro. All right, I got you. My bad, Greg. I just saw this. I don't even know if you're still on here. I'm gonna try to add you right now, though. All right. Oh, everybody gone. Okay. Greg, I invited you on. So when I see you, I type in if you're still here. So yeah. So I feel y'all. I think my stance still remains the same. I understand now, and I'm learning more. But I don't know. My stance is just, I don't know. It still stands. So let me ask you this, Dana: was being a stay-at-home dad, is that the proper term? I don't want to like.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the goal, like when you were younger?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't a goal, but due to
don't get too deep.
Other circumstances
of
mine.
All right.
And the age that the boys were, things going on with my mom at that time in her health, it was different, and it was just easier for us, instead of both of us working and then having to pay a babysitter and a bus service and a nanny or a tutor. I'm home.
I got you. Yeah. I got
fiscally, it made more sense because the money I was going to bring in was going to go straight to that.
Right back out to pay for all that stuff.
No, I get that. See, it's a circumstance. He didn't grow up saying, I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad. Is that? I guess that's my whole point.
Yeah, no.
Like I get circumstance. I'm saying I don't know many men who grow up, except for the new modern dudes, who grow up and be like, you know what? I want a woman to take care of me. I don't think it's ever the goal. Like if life circumstances.
Men happen, say that? Are there guys that say that?
I say I don't know anybody, but I seen guys on TV be like, I want a sugar mama. Like I'm gonna stay at home and like find me a woman who make a lot of money and just take care of me.
That's a real thing. Okay.
I don't know nobody who said that, but
they're males, they men.
What's going on?
They are males, not men.
There you go.
They're males.
Boys.
They are males. They are not men.
Exactly.
This is true. I know males who say that. I guess maybe okay. I should have been more clear. Those are my modern men. I mean, are dudes who grow up like that, and that's the goal. Is to like we're all equal, so I'm gonna let my wife make the decisions, and I'm just gonna chill and like we're like using equality as like an excuse to not be what God called you to be.
People let society pressure them, right. So it's sad. I mean, and it a lot of times it has something to do with the upbringing, because, and you have to understand something, like people are gonna do what they like grow up watching somebody else do. So if you like watch the man in your life, or like the dad or that male figure that's supposed to be rearing you up to be like a real man, if you see them falling off, they're gonna end up catching some of them bad habits that they see that man do. So, or if that guy's not in the house, and then you hear the mama on the phone, like, doing all the, all this talking about, what the man ain't doing and all of that, and then they might put certain things in their head, and then they might end up doing certain things or like acting certain ways towards men that may not be respectful or may not be, like in an honoring sense. and then that young boy can grow up, become, I guess for lack of better wording, becoming a legal adult. They might grow up, to that legal age thinking that it's acceptable. Okay, like women should be like this towards me and all of that, instead of actually, having the proper upbringing that a man should have.
So let me ask you a question. I want to ask both of y'all a question. Is it, and Siobhan, I want your opinion as a woman. If I were to say men weren't designed to be stay-at-home dads or play a secondary role, would you agree or disagree? Not that if circumstances happen, you do what you got to do. That's adaptation, but just the design of a man, the purpose of a guy.
I don't think that's the initial design.
Dana, what you think?
It's not.
Siobhan, what you think?
No, like you said, first book, that's not the initial design.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't tripping before I say something. No, but and I guess for me, okay, so like for me, when I was hearing a lot of arguments that people were making earlier, that's what I hear.
You
It's
hear
like, no, it's fine. Like women, like I'm not. There are a lot of things that women can do that they shouldn't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just like there's a lot of things that certain men could do. Niggas could go out and get a job if they wanted to, but they don't for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about earlier, like I can get unemployment and make more money than I'm making now. Why would I go back to work? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think for me, that's where the confusion comes in. I think when we talk about, it's not me
Wave the
not,
hands. Crazy.
it's not me not paying bills, but
Like a single mom, like, and I've heard this, said before, and I totally agree with this. Like just like with a single mom, like God did not intend for her to raise children in a household by herself. But circumstances happen, and like,
yeah.
Fortunately, you just gotta kind of, I don't say finagle your way into,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word, but circumstances happen, but I'm glad you said that, it's just what the clear design was meant to be versus just what's happening now. It's a lot of things that feed into, circumstances,
Yeah, and that's what I feel like. I guess that's what I feel like we're getting away from society in a lot of areas, but specifically the I won't just make it a black thing. Marriage in colored communities, I'll say, is because it's almost like a man being a provider, because men like. And again, this ain't you, Dane. I'm not talking about you, but like these new breed of dudes, I don't even know if I can say this. Like most dudes I speak for our generation and older took pride in like, I'll take care of my family. I protect my family. And a woman will take pride. Like, I'm not worried. My husband is all like, again, the way the Bible, and I know we have a lot of scholars who are going to tell me how I'm wrong, depicts it as like, a man's relationship with God is like a husband and wife. Like she trusts, I trust that my husband is gonna take care of the things that need to be taken care of. Exactly. That used to be a thing of pride, especially in the black community, because that's all we had was each other. But now it seems like society has told women that that's not a good thing. And so now you got these women like, I don't need no provider. I don't need no this. I can do this for myself. And I can do Go ahead, my brother.
And then the question I want to ask is, provide what? Because there are multiple things that need to be provided for. It ain't just hammer time. It ain't just it's there's a level of providing direction and emotional support, because sometimes women get too emotional. man's job, bring them back.
No, I agree. No, I agree with that too.
Society says provide is only one dimensional.
One thing.
I agree.
And that's so far left from what it is biblically.
And
So
I don't
let me-
think that's something that we hear. I don't think that's something that we hear enough about, because even in church, when we hear about men
We
being
don't.
providers, it's related to money. It's related to
It's more than
providing a
yeah.
life.
It's
But
more
I mean,
than
I
just
think that's
that.
the point.
No,
Jasmine said she got something to say. What you got to say, Jasmine? Don't hold back.
I'm sending her an invite right this second.
I mean, because it's more than just.
So
So go ahead.
no, I agree with that. I guess I feel like, okay, Siobhan, you're the resident woman, so I'm gonna ask you.
All right. No
I
pressure.
feel like what I see as a whole is like it's almost they market it as if like women don't need men. And so I feel like a lot of times in marriages, a husband is an accessory. He's not a necessity.
Wow.
And I think part of the reason why our divorce rate is so high, because if we arguing and we keep going back and forth, instead of having this hard conversation, nigga, I don't need you. So either I'm gonna leave or you can leave. And that's what I feel like. So when I say like providing, not necessarily like just financially, but providing anything. Because I feel like women like I can get all that on my own. But it's like, but that's not the point of a marriage. Like vulnerability is the point. In the old days, it was the man worked the job, so the woman needed him to be able to provide and get the things that she needed. But the man also was not trying to be at home with them kids all day, so he needed somebody to take care of him. Like they needed each other. Like if I don't have my wife, I'm gonna walk into a dusty cave every day.
Oh boy.
You know what I'm saying? My kid, even now, most principals don't call the husband. We don't know. I don't even know what class he in. I barely know what grade he in. Don't ask me where my son at. Nigga, I don't know. Call his mama. Why are you even calling me? Why am I option? Did she die? Is my wife dead? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's the only reason you should be telling me. Did she pass away?
Is that,
You know what I mean?
is that a
So, like-
notification? Is that the death notification?
Yeah. So my thing is like we
Mr.
need
Anderson,
each other.
where's your child right now?
If Josh Stewart ever called me, I'm gonna break down my crying because apparently Siobhan has passed away. Why am I? I'm on here because the name is on there. It just says husband's information. I gotta put it on there so you know I'm his daddy. That's it.
I can't-
Jasmine, go ahead. Welcome,
I can't
Jasmine.
do
Good to
this
see
with
you.
you.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you. Please, let's move on.
So what's your 3 cents?
I agree with all that has been said. This is my take on all of it. I think
Lord.
it's more so for Jerry.
Sorry.
I think it's more so the two people that are involved in the relationship. You have to trust that who you're with knows your ins and outs. You guys have to have some form of common ground, if that makes sense. You have to have some form of, as I said in my comments, it has to be some form of communication. You can't, as a man, shut down because you feel like your wife or your spouse is not hearing your viewpoints on things.
No, on nothing.
But you, Dre.
Good.
But
I'm
you
giving
also
myself.
have to understand that as women, we are emotional off top. That is one of the major, that's one of our major issues. And I say issues because it becomes a problem because we express so much that we feel like it's not being heard. But when we feel like it's not being heard because actions have not taken place, I guess, for lack of a better explanation. And I'll say actions have not taken place because you've not expressed, okay, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to do my best to move forward, if that makes sense. And a lot of relationships fail because most of it is financially. And as you all have stated, we have been taught that a man is supposed to lead. We have been taught that a man is supposed to provide. We have been taught that a man is supposed to I don't want to even use the word dictate, but that's the only word that I can think of right now. How a relationship moves. But as a woman that has been taught also to handle all of those things, it's hard to, I don't want to say submit, but it's hard to
Say it.
allow
That's what you mean. Say it. Speak it. Mhm.
no, Dre, because
I know you,
I
Jasmine.
don't
I know
wanna-
you. You ain't submitting
First
enough.
of all, I don't want to use that word because that word is very, very hard.
It's become such a cuss word in our community.
But you know what? It's really for me. I'm only speaking for me. For me,
Okay.
it's not a curse word because I can submit to anything, but you got to give me something to submit to.
That ain't what the Bible say.
You have to give me no.
That ain't what it say.
Listen, a man is supposed to lead, but what are you leading me to? Where are you leading me to?
Hold on, let me ask you a question, ma'am.
Where are you leading me to?
Okay,
You
ma'am.
have to you have to show me. It's more. You can't just give me word. You can't just give me lip service. You have to lead me somewhere. So where
Okay,
we
ma'am.
go? Where we
Can I ask
go?
you a
It
question?
has to be a communicating thing, Drake,
Can-
and you know that about me. Like,
Okay,
you
ma'am.
gotta communicate. You gotta.
I know
Communicate.
you fight. You fight, ma'am. You fight better than most niggas. I know. So look, let me ask you a question.
Got it. I'm here for it.
Where do you get this concept of submission from?
Excuse me.
Where do you get this concept of
It's
submission?
what I've been taught.
Right, from
More
where?
so
Where?
From the Bible. Like
Okay,
from
so-
church, from
so
the
can we
women that I
read
see.
what the Bible says about submission? Because the Bible don't say submit to a man if he leading you right.
But the Bible also says that a man is
Submit
supposed
to a
lead.
man as unto
man-
the Lord.
But listen, if you are not following what the Lord says, I'm not submitting to that. I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna do it. I
Oh,
don't
so
know
you
what.
just
I
gonna
don't
disrespect
know
God.
what the Bible. If you're not leading me to God, if your leadership is not leading me to the Word and it's not leading me to God, then what am I following? You wasting my time at that point. Am I wrong?
Yes.
How am I wrong, though?
Nobody else want to say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna tell you why.
Please
sister.
enlighten me.
I'm about to enlighten you. Okay. So this is what I mean. Look, this is what I'm saying. I think people are right to choose whatever they want to choose.
Absolutely.
So am I right to assume that you knew this man before you married him?
Let me say this. I don't
Ah,
think no.
that's what answer the question.
From my experience, let me say this. Some men and some women, I will say some women and some men will give you a facade. They will give you because they know what you require, because they know what you want, because they know what you desire. They'll give you, okay, babe, look, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do this, that, and as the years go by, that comfortable feeling sets in. And if you are not who you say you are, eventually it is going to pour out and it is going to show. It is going to come out at some point because you can't hide it. So if you're going to if you're going to come to a woman and you're going to say, hey, you could say all the right things. You could do all the right things. But if you're not comfortable with it, at some point it's going to come out. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, it's obvious that women want a man to lead. At least for me. At least for me.
Could you put your Cash App in the chat so we can all donate to your cause?
You are so irritating. You are so irritating.
I got money
but
right
for
now.
real,
Go ahead.
It's obvious that the world has designed it that a man is supposed to lead. Some women are not emotionally set up to where if that man can't lead, you have to be able to support him in that not being able to lead, but then you also have to be able to hold up your end of the bargain. A marriage says, it says for better or for worse. So in that worst moment, a woman is supposed to step up and take care of and help take care of the household. We are helpmates. We are not supposed to be in charge. So because the man can't lead properly in that moment, does not mean you dismiss his ability to lead.
But what
I hate to have to do this. I hate it had to be you, Jasmine. Oh, actually, I'm not gonna do it. Dana or Greg, could you please pull it? Because when I read the word, all of a sudden I don't know context. I went to theology school, but I have no idea.
So
what
did I.
context is.
It's
No, not you. I'm talking about the people in the comments. Because when I read the Bible, I don't know what I'm talking about. According to the comments, I wasted all my years in theology school not paying attention to writing raps in school. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about. So if one of you
talking
two
about
brothers,
Ephesians 5? Is that what you? That's what you.
It's
you lean
Ephesians
towards?
5. The key verse is 24. But so we have proper context, could you read 23 and 25?
I'm gonna look it
For
up
the husband
so I
is
can
the
follow
head of the
along.
wife.
Hold on. Don't talk about this man as
Is the
preaching.
head of the church,
Shut up.
and he is the savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he may sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he may present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any
Is her
such
hand up?
thing,
It is.
but that it should be holy and without blemish.
Thank you. Now, hold on. Greg, did sweet Bishop Dana, when he read, did it say follow your husbands as he follows Christ? Follow your husband as long as he ain't selling crack. Follow your husband as long
No
as he ain't getting
contingency. There's
It's
no
in
contingency. You're not gonna
everything.
find it on there. It's pretty much no different from loving your neighbor and all that. In spite of what they do, there is no contingency on that. We were commanded to love. It's kind of like that. There's no contingency, if ands, or but what if he did this? What if that? No, it's straight up no chaser.
Can I say something though? For real.
Of course you can. Your hand was up, so go ahead. sister.
I agree with the scripture. I wholeheartedly agree.
But
However,
niggas always start off when they finna cut
I'm
your
gonna
leg.
hit you with the however. However, I'm
Hit
just
you with a
not,
however.
I'm just not dumb enough to believe that the Lord wants me to follow somebody that's gonna lead me to sell drugs for the rest of my life.
Okay, can I address that?
I'm not gonna say that the Lord is going to allow me to. If you're not leading me to Him, where are you leading me to? I am not.
But see, here's the thing. In a lot of cases, and this is where a lot of people have to be honest with themselves. Is it a matter of, is it really, the Lord leading, or is it just you just being told something that you didn't want to hear at the moment?
That's a fair question.
That is very.
That's a fair question. That's a very fair question because that's a fact.
Thing. I know I've dealt with that, personally in my previous relationships, but but that is like a main thing, and I know that's just an issue across the board with people. Period. Is it a matter of right or wrong, or you just not hearing something that you want? You not hearing something you want to hear at that very moment.
And I guess that's my whole point, because this is what I won't say. I'm gonna say what I want to say. This is what I see women tend to do. I'll leave it to all the modern men in the chat to correct me and tell me how men do it too. That's their job. So a lot of times, I think particularly Christian women, African American women, because those are the ones I know, don't consider what type of leader and what type of dude he is until it's time to get married. Like, y'all knew that nigga wasn't no good. Y'all like his swag.
Period.
So I don't feel like that changes the word of God. Yes. That changes the word of God because y'all didn't listen to the word of God to begin with. And I feel like we do. I mean, we do that with choices anyway, but I think a lot of us, we get into a situation and then we try to find a word to like justify. So my thing is, if you don't want to follow a man who's not a good leader, that nigga was a bum when you met him. He was selling crack when you met the nigga. But so you knew he wasn't a leader when y'all got into
selling crack.
Well, not selling crack, but like, I'll be honest. Like, I'm gonna put myself on blast. I've been talking to married men, and if you watched this show before, I've said this 100 times. When I first met Siobhan, I wasn't a man. I was a modern soft nigga. Jasmine, you knew me. I was playing 2K with somebody from my past. We was playing 2K all day. We was chilling. I was hanging with my, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I can call a nigga weak because I was a weak nigga. I know what it looks like. I told Siobhan like 2 days ago, I said, Siobhan, it's no way you should have married me. But what's happening in the church is we think worship is a manly attribute. It's not.
come on.
Nigga, that don't make you a man.
Ooh, come on. Say
And what we've done is we got a bunch of weak people, and I'll use me as an example, so don't nobody get upset. I was a weak nigga. The only reason I pulled Siobhan because I could rap and I was a Christian and I knew my word. It wasn't. She didn't ask me about my credit. She didn't ask me how long I kept a job. She didn't ask me. Dana, you turn me up.
Specifically
Yeah,
say.
because I want to go back to something.
No. I wasn't saying like I was mad. I just wasn't sure what you. I didn't want to keep talking.
Like, hold on a second.
Yeah. No, Siobhan, what were you about to say?
What I wanted to specifically say was, like, everything they said is true. Yes. However, like, I was shown several times that he was the one for me in very personal, irrefutable ways. Boy.
I got a reputation in these radio in the streets.
We'll take it. Put your camera off then.
Nah, you know what? Let's go.
No, not with the sunglasses.
So those are the baby sunglasses. I want to point those out. That's why they look so small.
The streets love me out here. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro, you gotta take them off. You gotta take them off because I can't. No, I can't either. Ain't nothing changed, Jasmine. Were you expecting something different?
You know what? No, I wasn't.
Good, good. So that's what I wanted to say. Like, even though things started off kind of rough for us, it was, and even times where I questioned it, I went back to those moments where
Darius, how you gonna do
there were a few irrefutable times where I knew God said that he was the one. So that was the point I wanted to say. Bruh, it wasn't just I just got rolled and doped in here, and like.
But see, like at the end of the day, it goes back to like how you said it. Like you were like evidently you are situation. You knew it was God, and He kept giving you the signs. A lot of people. We look at. Here's the thing, and this is how religion kicks in, unfortunately, with this. It's like you hear great testimonies like you all situation, and then somebody else will be like, oh wow, like, and then they want that, and then you got like for instance, you got a young lady that sees somebody on the street and she's trying to clean him up, and then he's just got this thing that he can't shake or whatever, and then here she is wondering what happened. Well, you try to pretty much recreate.
You tried to be God.
Right, you tried to create another situation. You tried to mimic somebody else's blessing or testimony or whatever. However you all met, you saw the signs that you knew that this was truly a man of God and this was for you. And then here she is trying to get somebody else and mold him to be like rap or somebody else. So it's like, you can't try to mold somebody to be something that they're not. You have to be spirit led. That's not everybody's testimony, and everybody it all boils down to what did the Holy Spirit tell you.
Look at them! Look at them nails is moving. Go ahead, Jasmine. What you gotta say? I see them nails.
Dana,
moving.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I wanted to hear Dana's time out.
A part of that is ignoring a part of what Siobhan said is very true. God speaks to you very clearly, and in him speaking to you very clearly, sometimes he can speak to you and tell you no, and you ignore the red flags because of vulnerability, because of what you feel emotionally, and your emotions sometimes are not attached to what God has already told you no to. Mm-hmm. And so you ignore that, and when you ignore that, you seem to end up with what God told you no to, and you try to incorporate God in that. Now, let me say this. I don't want to say too much to the
Don't put nobody on Front Street now. Don't put nobody on Front Street.
I don't want to say too much where I do that.
Right, but talk.
Is right. You understand where I'm coming from.
Yes.
You get to a point where you get so blinded because of your teaching, and because of what you know, and because you have this relationship with God, and because you know that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think. You get to a point where you feel like, okay, well, I noticed this, and I know that God is a God of change. I know that God can change. I know that God will change. But part of that, the bigger part of that is this person really willing to change to be who God created them to be? You can see so much in a person that you fall in love with what you see and take away the actual visual, but you see it on the inside. And so that is what keeps you. That is what makes
Fall
you
in
stay.
love with potential.
That is what makes you vulnerable to the point where you don't pay attention to the signs that God gives you. And that's where most women that are spiritual and that have so much teaching, that's where we get caught up at, because we get ourselves in positions where we look outside of the outer man and we look at the inner man and pray that that inner man comes out. And it only gets us to a point where we end up, I don't want to use the word losing, but we end up I can't even, I don't even know your name, I'm sorry, but like the gentleman that just spoke before me, like he said, we end up trying to make this man be who God didn't really create him to be.
You trying to call things to be not as though they were,
on,
and it wasn't
right.
you anyway.
And you're like praying amiss or like speaking amiss on that.
Absolutely. And so it kind of breaks your vision for lack of a for lack of a better term. And so no, I don't agree with women settling. It's almost like you settle because you see something that is there but it's not shown, and you fight and you fight and you fight because you feel like, no, God, this is who I'm married, so I'm gonna do this because this is, you don't like divorce, you hate this, you hate that, and I want to do, and you end up putting yourself in a deeper hole spiritually because you're not listening. You're not following, you're not adhering. And when you don't adhere and when you don't listen, it takes so long for you to break free from it.
Wait, stop right there. I got something to say, but I want Dana to go first because he was timed out a long time ago.
The timeout, I wanted clarification about, you said something about worship, and my internet went out.
Oh, I said a lot of times. So I was saying, like, church teaches you how to be a good godly man, but they don't do a good job of teaching you how to be a man.
Okay.
Like they teach us, which I'm not saying they have to be mutually exclusive. You can pray and know, but it's like, bro,
it's not holistic.
Yeah. And I know people, like, I know a lot of dudes in church, man, and I don't know how familiar, and I can only speak because like I used to do music. So like there's a lot of artists who are great artists and they're horrible people.
Oh yeah.
They don't have any, like, no integrity. They cheat on their spouse all repeatedly. But as long as they talented, they're anointed, and we consider them like a good man. And so like a lot of like, or a good woman. And so they get into relationships with the stage nigga. They wives marry the stage dude.
Yes.
But the real dude, and I can say that because I was one of them. I'm really good at rapping, bro. Really, really good at it. And so people assume that my walk was straight, but I was a horrible man. I was a boy. And when I say like I shouldn't have married Siobhan, like I shouldn't have married anybody at that point. But I thought I was husband material because I knew my word and I was using my gifts to glorify God. And a lot of times in church, that's all you need to be considered a good man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what I was gonna say to Jasmine was like, I feel what you're saying. I think my thing is like at the end of the day, it comes out to like obedience. Because I think, again, going back, especially for like believers, is like I think a lot of times we jump into something and then we try to be obedient. And then it's like, well, my man ain't like, and God's like, I didn't tell you to get with him anyway. You married him.
That's actually not your man.
Like you
still in disobedience, right?
You're still in disobedience.
I didn't tell you to marry that dude. I didn't tell you to marry that woman. I didn't tell you that.
Yeah.
And so now you have
will
a problem
provide
with
you a way
submitting
out each and every time.
Come on.
Yeah, you got a problem.
He will provide you
to somebody you weren't even supposed to submit to.
I gave you the keys and you still didn't open the door.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The door, you should have walked in the wrong way.
Come on.
Yeah.
I have a friend I have a friend who I honestly believe the only reason why he got married in his paradigm, he married someone who was a little higher
That's
Oh,
it.
Dre.
economic status,
Hey, my boy.
like I did. And I
Right.
swear, I think that's the only reason, because we presented it like it worked, because we're not going to let everybody in our business, but that was the only reason why he got married. He should not have ever. But the thing is, she saw it.
Mm.
Ray Charles could see that today, dead and blind, but she still chose it.
Can't.
Yeah.
So that's on her. That's between her and God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to Siobhan about this, and I
God
want
bless
to do this. I think I want this to be the
But
next
there
episode.
are also sometimes where it does, you whatever reason, it does work out. I know a relationship that it did. Clearly was the wrong person for each other.
Agreed.
But
No, agreed.
but she prayed him through, and he was willing to hear that.
Accept
That's
it.
He accepted that,
That's it.
and then he changed and made it better.
That's
But
it.
if his heart ain't right and
That's
willing to hear what thus saith the Lord, for legitimately what God is saying, not what the woman is saying,
No,
and get under good teaching and get under, and read for himself what a godly man is supposed to
Come on.
do, then he can
Mhm.
change.
yeah.
And she led
And so-
him that way.
Yeah, I think like even when you look at the word, when you look at the totality of what being a good man is, it's not even being saved.
Hmm.
Because there's scripture where God's like, he tells the woman, if you're married to an unsaved person, this is what you do.
Hmm.
But in church, we teach the opposite. What's
Yep.
the first thing? What's the first requirement? Shavonna Jasmine, what's the first requirement y'all learned about in church? What does that man have to be? What's his first quality he's supposed to have? Be
Say.
a godly man. But yet, when I look in scripture, if you're married to someone who's not saved, this is what you do to convert them.
Yeah.
But God gives you all these characteristics of a good man and a good woman and what that looks like. The problem is that ain't popular now.
But the other problem is that men are not, they're not receptive to a good godly counsel because they're not willing to change, or they don't have the ability. I won't even use the word ability. They don't have the
Openness.
mental capacity to grasp I'm messing up, I need to do X, Y, and Z.
No, I got you.
A lot of men are stuck in their ways. A lot of men are stuck in, this is who I am. This is what has always worked for me. I've always gotten what I want. It's pride. Thank you, Brittany. That's really
No, that's not true. I don't think that's true. Can I
That's
give you
not
wait.
everybody.
Can
And
I
I'm
give
not
you
saying,
another?
I'm not saying every man. I'm not saying
No,
every
I'm
man.
not about to say
I'm
that.
not.
I'm not about to say that.
Most
No.
men, though, that's usually the issue.
But I'm saying, as a man who used to not always be in the church, I'll just say that. Why would I want to follow these lame niggas?
True.
Like men, we're visual. Like women, I was gonna say it before y'all started saying the comments and you said it. Like a lot of, I got you, bro. I'll put it in the comments in a minute. There's a lot of drug dealers and just people that we see that are regular guys that have way better lives than these so-called like Christian dudes. Like, why would I want to listen to you? You soft, you can't fight, you can't protect nobody, you don't want to provide for nobody. Like, what you gonna tell me? You're not getting no money. Like, what are you gonna tell me as a guy? And that's how I grow up saying this is how guys are. When you come to me, you talking to me also, hey brother, I just want to have a quick word. Nigga, get on my face. I don't want to talk to you. Why'd you breathing on me like that, bro? You know what I'm saying? I don't. So like, if I'm a guy, because before I was saying like I had people come to me, I was like, here go this lame nigga, here you go coming down the street. Like, bro, I know like we need, and again, this kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like, we can feel however we want to feel about what type of man that we are. But what does a scriptural man look like? And we don't have a lot of those because it's not I'm just at the end of the day, we just not obedient to what God says. And we've accepted what society says, what we comfortable with. And again, I understand, like, if you're not the man that you want to be, we live in a society that tells you stay the way you are and then make an excuse and get people to adapt to that excuse.
What are the examples of in a leadership that we have in the church, though? Like, what are the prime examples? They even put it in comedy. So it's like, you know, from the preacher to the choir director, like, these are unfortunately, like, it's in like with when it comes to church, we already don't have enough males, period, like compared to women. So it's like, so, and then like when it comes to, you know, someone being, you know, risen up to prominence, like some type of leader,
This dude crazy.
what are the examples?
True.
What are like your average examples? And that goes, and it's a lot that plays into that. And I'm not gonna get into that. I kind of hinted towards it, you know, in the comments and everything. But like, what are the examples? These are the ones that we supposed to be listening to and following, you know. And somebody stopped telling the truth a long time ago. So, and I'm not even just talking about. And see, like, I know a lot of times we can go into like, you know, well, I ain't going to go there, but like what the, like, as far as like what we believe defines a man, you know, and we looking at outer stuff, but what about the inner stuff? And even like what we talked about earlier about the you know, being a provider, you know, we come up with excuses and all of that, and a lot of stuff has been put into us as to where we can't really, where a lot of the dudes out here can't even really be really legit call themselves men because of the poor examples. So
no, I agree. Some of the most scumbucketest dudes I know are in the church and have a position.
unfortunately, bro, and it's scary.
But
And I'm just
I
being
know you've
honest.
seen stuff because I've seen stuff. So
Yeah, and not even like in my own personal life. This I don't want to put nobody on blast, but it's already out there, so I'm gonna say it. John Gray.
oh god, see, like,
a part of that, a part of that is that we must understand
examples.
that the gifts are given without repentance.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be very gifted, and you can God has given us all talents. God has given us all gifts. Those gifts will not be taken away from us because we do things that don't line up with the word of God. When
I agree.
When God is ready to tap in, He's gonna tap in, and you're gonna be able to speak to whomever. You're gonna be able to.
I'm sorry.
God, that is hilarious. God will
funny.
give you. God is very clear, and look at all of the mega church pastors who are in trouble, whose trouble has followed them, whose trouble has been shown out. That don't necessarily take away from their gift. That just means that they're struggling with something.
No, I agree. This is what I think the problem is.
I'm sorry, but yeah, like, I understand what you're saying with that. I understand because that person evidently still has a gift, but that does mess with it, or at least that could interfere
It does
with the move of God.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
it
but,
does.
But are you? But who are you? Are you following the man? Or are you following Christ?
Exactly, and that's where
the point is. We're all flawed, from Abraham, from Adam to us. Ain't nobody right.
Absolutely.
No.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter. So going in, knowing we should be honest. We should be honest with ourselves and realize ain't nobody perfect.
But that's why the word says
everybody.
That's a prime.
I have issues. So I've been called bishop and minister and all that tonight because I've said a few choice words that may and resonate with somebody, and that's great. To God be the glory. However, I know I'm still a scummy nigga in my heart. There are things about me that just
that's you being honest about yourself, and that's what's up. And that's what makes you a better.
But at times I haven't been honest with myself.
That's stuff like that. That's what makes you a better candidate of being followed and listened to, because people are looking for something real instead of somebody that's hiding their junk and acting like they're perfect and they scumbags, like bro said.
But here's the thing, because I know I have a little bit more insight with Pastor Gray because I know somebody who knows him very personally.
Okay.
Not knowing the full context of what's going on in his past, he's talked about it, he's written about it to some degree. There's still some things that literally haunt him. And that's when he should be strong.
No, I got you.
That weakness hits. And that's with all of us.
I know. I just want to say that
it's just because of his prominence, it hits harder.
That's why Paul
Him
said,
and the guy from Hill, the two guys from Hillsong,
held to a higher level of accountability.
I just want to finish what I asked. All I was trying to say was that not to condemn him as a person, but what I'm saying is I feel like as a church, we always want to deal with the spiritual issues, but not deal with the person.
Yes.
This is my outside opinion. I don't know nobody who know that nigga. I don't know nobody who got that kind of money to know John Gray. But from the outside looking in, he was a dude who might not have been. He was a regular guy one day, and then he looks up and he has all this money. And I feel like as a church, we do a very bad job of teaching people how to handle success.
Yes.
He needed men to be like, bro, you got this money. You about to have access to women you never had access to before.
Come on.
And you got the money to get away with doing what you want to do.
Come on.
This is how you move. We don't do that. We want to pray and speak over tongues and praise his gift and tell him how to use his money and how he need to put it back. Like the things I've heard from John Gray when he speaks is no one cares about him. They care about his gift.
Yes.
And that's it. And that's a problem. And that's what I mean. That's why I brought him up, was to say that. And we we're almost 3 hours, so I'm gonna wrap it up pretty quick. But we gotta start having honest conversations and stop making everything so deep. And so, like, because honestly, bro, when you read the scripture, we wouldn't rock with Jesus like that. The church would not rock with, even back then they were tripping. Why the dudes who follow you don't wash their hands? Why they not doing this? Why they not, like, he got killed because he was loaning their money. You know what I'm saying? So like we wouldn't rock with Jesus the way he is now. And I'm just saying, like, as a church, especially as married couples, like we have to be honest with ourselves and say, maybe my decision making when it comes to relationships isn't the best. If you 30 something and none of your relationships work, maybe it's a type of person that you're choosing. And you know, and just being honest, like I know the new fancy word going around is like high value man and stuff like that, but maybe you're not eligible for a high value man, and that's okay.
To thy own self be true.
Yes, bro.
Bishop,
everybody can't afford Shea Maurice's. Everybody can't go to Shea Maurice's. It's okay. Be happy with your Phillies and your Applebee's. They good too. You know what I'm saying? And so
Paul said, I've learned to be content in whatever state I'm in.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like,
if I'm a tent maker, if I'm just whatever.
Yeah. But again, I think we listen to culture more than we listen to God, and we just not ready to have that conversation.
Yes.
I think this conversation and a lot of other conversations at the end of the day is kind of what it boils it down. So we halfway listen to him, and then we complain. It's like when you buy something and they give you the instructions how to fix it. You halfway do it and then halfway do how you used to fix it all the time. And then when it don't work, now IKEA furniture is trash. No, my nigga, your direction reading is trash. They give you step by step how to build that couch, bro.
They do.
My life will not go out on IKEA. I'm sorry, God. But like,
watch it.
I know, but like that's
watching.
the issue. But that's the issue. Like, it ain't that they couch is trash. You didn't follow what you were supposed to, and we do that all the time with God. And like God is very clear about. Now I don't know how y'all feel, and we can debate this another day probably. I don't believe that God has one person for somebody. I believe that God gives you a list of this is what a godly man is like. Boom, 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 boom. This is what a godly woman is like. Boom, 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 boom. You look around at who's in your life, who has these traits consistently that I like. Nobody, okay, then I don't need to marry nobody. What we do is boom, 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 and we take boom and boom, ignore the fact that he sell crack. He got 3 baby mamas, ain't in none of the kids' lives, but you special because you God's chosen and you different. No, the rules apply the same. And that's our and then we met. Well, I don't want no church nigga. You ain't never been with no church nigga. You went with a nigga who went to church once with you.
Come on. Come on.
He not no church nigga.
Ooh,
Preaching.
cash out,
Come
Reverend.
on.
Does anybody have any band-aids
This
for the
nigga
blood that
is
has been
between
shed?
Chris Tomlin and Chris
What a
Brown,
peroxide.
and you talking about you
Come
tired of
on.
dealing with these church niggas. When did you deal with them?
Come on.
No, Siobhan, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of his testimony. We good.
That's it.
Let it go. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Think how we came up, bro. Like guys, I'm gonna be honest, bro. When I was out on the prowl, I was not. Shut up, Pam. Talk about I feel attacked.
Be quiet.
Or guys do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like I was looking for. The reason I don't want to say entertain Siobhan. I was ahead because I wasn't. The reason why me and Siobhan why I pursued the
Watch it.
relationship because I was like, no, Siobhan, you hear me say this all the time. Where I grew up, you only had 2 type of Christians. You had the girls that love Jesus, but they look like Dennis Rodman. Or you had the girls that like halfway. I knew they didn't really love Jesus, but they was fine. They knew enough scripture to like get me through.
Get back.
Yeah.
Trifling.
Siobhan was like, I was like, oh, she's both. I wasn't interested in her theology. I wasn't. I was interested in them curves.
SMH.
I didn't know it. I didn't know if she knew Luke 44, but I know I was trying to see them 44 triple E's.
Could you not?
I'm just giving the blood of my testimony.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I'm preaching good now. I don't
Could you
think you
not?
guys say amen. I'm preaching better than you saying amen.
No, you're not.
So if I'm just being honest, you know what I'm saying?
He
Guys,
was
that's how we do. We don't. So we see what we like, and then we try to like adjust. Like, well, you ain't gotta do God's. God know we sinners. We mess up. We ain't gotta like listen to the whole thing. But then you blame the whole God. Like, why you so mad at God? And it ain't that God's men are trash. You have never dated a godly man before, cause you friend zone them niggas. You want to find your husband? Look in your friend zone. He there.
Facts.
You know, and dudes do the same thing.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So somebody
Mm.
don't put my sister out there like that. Y'all funny.
Mm.
But no, so for the
Yeah, they
single
both do
people,
that.
and I want to do a radio M night where we just have singles. Devon, you do the single women, I'll do the single guys. Because I'm interested in seeing like when you say you've been with a godly man or a godly woman, what does that look like?
Hmm.
Does he know scripture or did he know enough scripture?
Hmm.
I ain't gonna say what I want to say to
I
get
got
what
a
he
thing
wanted,
about
or to
that.
get what he wanted to get.
Mm.
I got a thing about
Did
that.
she really love God, or did she pray for forgiveness after y'all got done doing what y'all was doing, and she got cute quotable things? Because honestly, bro, that's what our relationships be like. And then it's like, I don't want no godly man. I want a street nigga. You had a street nigga the whole time,
Period.
your whole life.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? Because we can't be honest. We can't be honest with. We don't like God's word. That's in the word of God. Like our natural state is to be against what God says. And even when we say the holy, if you're not on your job and you constantly reading it, you go back to that and you don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like most of my friends are women because I just don't hang with niggas, ain't my thing. A lot. You know what I'm saying? So I hear the stories of like heartbreak and I'm like, but he wasn't a godly man. Just because you're a minister don't mean, and again, that's a problem with the church, man. We think manhood is knowing scripture and having a doctorate and a theology degree. It's not.
They be the ones
It's
that
part
feel
of
the
it.
most. I seen it.
Yeah, it's
That's
part of
it.
it, but that's not,
Seen it.
nigga, can you pump gas? Can you change a tire? Can you work? If your wife is sick,
Come
can you hold down
on.
the kids? Can you do that? No, you're not a man, bro. Not yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we think like, you don't talk to him like that. You crushing his spirit. No, I'm being a nigga. I'm not gonna cuff this man. No, you're not. You're a male, bro, and it's okay. You just don't need to be married right now. Get with some dudes who are actually men who can teach you how to be a husband, and then go be a husband.
Absolutely.
We don't need 2 wives in the house. We don't
Period.
There
need
you
that,
go.
bro. You a woman with a beard.
We don't need that feminine stuff.
We sure don't need that. You know what I'm saying? And like women, we don't need two niggas in the house.
Brittany, yes.
Someone in the comments was like, when we was talking about 300, and I was like, well, when did she fight a war? And someone was like, well, she led the second movie. Yes, because the nigga was dead.
And she didn't lead the second movie. The other guy led.
I
She showed up
didn't
at
even see the second movie. Don't say even if she did. But my thing is like, we used to take pride in that. Like my wife in this current state is a homemaker. It is the greatest thing that ever happened to my life, ever. I would work 30 jobs if I had to make sure she could stay home. And not even saying that my way is a blueprint. I'm just saying like it's okay. Like
That's you all's dynamic.
yeah, I take pride in that. Like I feel like it's an unspoken thing. Like housewives are less than women who work. And most niggas, I know the people on here is the outliers, but most dudes would prefer, like, if I can come home every day and I don't mean this in a sexist and feminist way. Dinner is good, the kids is good, food is hot, Wayne time is ready. I'm never leaving you, ever. You want to cheat? Go ahead. Just have them hot biscuits ready when I come home. And I mean that literally and figuratively. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But I think like we look down on the way that God has designed things because society told us to, and they use all these little slick ways of doing it. And my only thing is like, I think gender roles were established by God, and that when we embrace it, just like if we embrace anything the way God has designed it, we'll be happier and better as a community. Well, we talked long enough. It's been 2 hours and 56 minutes. This is the longest episode ever. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself though.
It's been a little heated, but
please at the end of this,
I think we went good.
Please at the end of this, put your prayer request either in the comments for your marriage, or if you don't want everybody in your business, ladies inbox Siobhan, fellas inbox me, and we'll pray for you. If you want to link and pray, we can do that. But yeah, definitely gonna be praying for your marriages. Dana, thank you, bro, for rocking with us the whole time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, bro. Jazzy, thank you. Good to see you.
All right,
All
bro.
these years.
Thanks for having me.
We love y'all, and we'll be praying for y'all marriages and stuff. And we will see y'all next week. Jasmine, I'm gonna call you this week. We gonna finish.
Period.
All right,
y'all.
Bye, guys.
All right, G, thank you, bro. Thank you.
So
Shut up, Dre.
Pray for your